Hello, hello, everybody. Mic check, we're working. Hey, hey, guys.
Welcome in.
Welcome into Consumer Day. Let's give it up real quick. A little clap. Just wanted to go over some house rules real quick and welcome everyone in. Mic is not working.
Can you hear us okay?
Mic check.
A little louder?
It works?
Okay.
They said the mic does work. All right, so welcome in, everybody. This is Consumer Day presented by Super Team USA, Super Team Black. Just wanted to welcome everyone and appreciate everyone coming here. This is an opportunity for lots of builders to talk about the projects that they're working on. Just for house rules, be very respectful. Encourage, take as many photos as possible. Post them as... I'm hearing mic is still not working. 1 second, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Does that one work?
Is this any better? No, I think this one's fully off. Is this any better?
Check.
Yeah, it's up there.
I don't think mine is it?
Check.
What's up, Amy? I don't think my mic's working. Yeah. Oh, you can hear it through that.
Oh, well, that worked. Oh, this is better. Can you hear us?
Yes. What about mine? Still not here. Huh? We just start with this? Yeah. Switch. All right. Thank you for everyone for bearing with us with the mic check. Hold on. Got some background here. Good, but not on the other one.
Is this good? Yeah.
Oh, we're fixed now. There you go.
All set?
Nice job, guys. Yeah.
Everyone in the back?
Yeah,
Thank
give it up
you,
for
tech
technical
team.
difficulties. We love it. So welcome to Consumer Day, hosted by Super Team USA and Super Team Black. The builders today have been looking forward to this moment for a while. These are some well-established products that many of you know and love. Biggest house rule is post a ton, take lots of photos, take videos, share them. They are here to get exposure for the whole ecosystem. So that's the best thing you can do here to support them. Besides that, I wanted to welcome up Yash to the stage to talk a little bit about the history of Consumer Day.
Welcome, Yash.
Hi, I'm Yash from SendAI. We are an applied AI lab and also one of the founders of Solana Consumer Day. So Solana Consumer Day is like one of my favorite hobby projects, and it was started back in Bangkok like 1.5 years ago. And it all started with a random tweet. I just wanted someone to host an event which is like purely focused on consumer apps of the Solana. And like, yeah, the tweet went viral and a lot of people started joining that. And Ann from Super Team joined, and we hosted the Solana Consumer Day in Bangkok. And it was a huge success. And since then, fast forward, we are at the 4th edition. We hosted the 2nd one in New York, 3rd one in Hong Kong, and there's the 4th one in Miami. So yeah, really excited for this. And I think like when we started Solana Consumer Day, we were at the peak of the consumer hype. Meme coins were like very hyped. Then social and social.fi was the poster child, which are like no more right now. Then there was also Web3 gaming, which is also declared dead now. So I think we are at a position where only consumer fintech is the one thing which is booming right now. And that's also like mostly from the institutional side. So yeah, we are at the peak bottom of the consumer hype right now. And we want to make sure that we have a very good discussion here on the consumer ecosystem and we get some value out of it so that we can come back again at the next Consumer Day. And hopefully we are at the a very good position from here on. So yeah, welcome to Consumer Day and hope you have a good time.
Thank you, Yash.
Thank you, Yash. Fantastic. And just by way of intros, I'm Halsey Huth, head of ecosystem partnerships at MoonPay. And just so everyone knows, we're going to have a few breaks throughout here, but for the next 5 hours, we are locking in to hear from the best builders in the Solana consumer space. So I think with that, we have our first group coming up here. I think we have Ka from Bird's Eye. So would you like to join us? Fantastic.
Can you hear me? Okay, this works. Cool. And good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ka. I'm from Bird Eye. To those of you who don't know me, then Bird Eye is a data company, a crypto data company who has been around for 5 years, since 2021. And we are serving millions of users in Solana ecosystem and some other blockchains as well, and serving thousands of data clients as well. And I'm here today to just talk to you some insights that we've been observing using the data that we have. And I think, yes. Oh, is that like being shown on the screen? The slide?
It is supposed to show on the screen, yes.
Yeah.
They can see it.
Okay. You can see it on the TV. Okay. All right. So yeah. So the first one is that we see that the AI first approach is become more and more popular in the ecosystem. The AI agents now is not only as something that you hear on the news, but it's become our clients, become our builders, the distributors, the users. So it is really integrated in the whole ecosystem and in the whole working process. And on the Solana ecosystem alone, we see that there's over 15 million transactions. So that has become something that we have to seriously consider when we build products, when we ship our new tools. In response to that, at Bird Eye, we now support agentic payments, X402. Thank you very much. This is only the payment, but we also deploy the whole suite. So so we have to optimize all the documentations, on the websites, on the payment system, on the APIs that the AI agents can consume. So I think that that is from our side, but I think if you guys haven't really built the product for AI agents, you should really consider to do that. Yep, and the second insight, I'm sorry, but I only have 5 minutes, so I really have to rush it up a little bit. And the second insight is that we see that the institutional adoption is really here, and they are here, and they will stay. At the end of March, just about 1 month ago, we see that it was the all-time high of trading volume in terms of tokenized stocks on Solana. And you can see on the charts, on the trading volumes reaching about like over 30 million per day now, and the trend is going up. And so we can see that we have a lot of adoptions over speculations on the big money is here, BlackRock. You can see that all the fund managers coming from all the biggest funds in the ecosystem. On the big names are here. And now, on the companies and on the market growth is more dependent on the regulations, on institutional actions, rather than a few years ago, we only depend on the KOLs and some narratives on social media. Now things are more different. You need to hear more about the news, how the White House is doing, and that's going to affect a lot on the market. And now we see that there's a lot of TradFi giants. They are actually working with us, working with on the crypto native companies, so that they can offer the unique product to the market. You can see that on the companies, on the funds, they are working with the new companies like Ondo Finance, with pre-stocks, with X stocks, so that they can offer the new ETFs to the market. And that is something that has never happened before. And from Bird Eye, we don't want to stay out of this. Last year in Breakpoint in last December, we already introduced that we are working on something called Bird Eye Pick, which is our institutional product, something similar to a Bloomberg terminal, but for the crypto industry. And today, we want to announce that the closed beta access is going to start next week for the first batch. And we are inviting you guys, if you want to try this one, you are welcome to join us. You can scan the QR code and then fill in some of your information, and we're going to be in touch. And Bird Eye Pick is essentially the dashboard with thousands of data points, and we have very rich data set, very completely new navigation system, so that we can expand it infinitely. And we have to manually collect a lot of data in the system. And then we have, it will become the industry standard for the data. All right, and that is my insights for today. Thank you very much for listening, and all the best. Thank you, guys.
So this is live now?
I'm sorry?
This is live now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Heard it here first.
Yep. I think I got it here.
Yeah, so please do scan the QR code and let's get going on that beta.
Thank you.
Birdseye has been around forever.
For a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it was like one of the first like data platforms ever used. It's like really leveled up now.
I think we'd be hard pressed to find someone in this room who hasn't touched a Birdseye product yet.
Yeah, it's really taken the institutional approach. That is a clean dashboard. Like it's so cool to see projects that like we used literally like years ago and now upgraded to that level. It's awesome.
Who's next?
Oh yes, who is next? We got BM from the Cormos team. You ready to roll?
Hi everyone. How are you? All right. So hi everyone again. My name is BM. I am the co-founder of Cormos, and today is the mic working, right? Not working. All right. Good. Perfect. So I'm co-founder of Cormos, and today I would like to share with you some of the market insights leading to one idea: new assets demand a new approach to vaults. Many people can feel right now that market is not great. DeFi yields are being super compressed of around 3 to 5%, a native yield. And with the recent on-chain events, risk-reward is not there for the users. So this puts a new yield opportunities in the focus, such as RWA yields. And we can see from the recent cross of 30 billion in RWA value, that's RWA becoming a really popular on-chain, and specifically three categories such as private credits, tokenized hedge funds, and reinsurance. But with the new yield and new opportunities to invest, RWA brings also traditional standards such as monthly and quarterly redemption periods. With the redemption periods, DeFi is not a good match. As you know, DeFi is all about speed, it's all about liquidity, and it's a complex thing for the projects to actually make it work. So how does RWA project solve this? They have two ways. First way is they do it through the secondaries and through the own liquidity on the pools, on the DEX pools. But this is quite expensive for them to maintain, and if you want to exit in size, you have to actually kind of incur the slippage. And the second way how they solve this is they introduce the liquidity reserves, but liquidity reserves often requires the KYC, and its dilutive return as part of your capital is being locked in the reserves as well. One more market insight that I want to share with you is that you deal with the time-locked DeFi more often than you think. Let's say if you invest in like RWA asset and you hold it for 1 week or 2 weeks, you already kind of, if you want to like realize your returns, you have to exit, and on the exit you'll incur the exit slippage. And we can see from this example, if you take a loop, if you exit within 1 week, you are in negative zone. If you exit after like second week, you just made it out to the break even. And the longer you hold, the closer you are to the advertised APY. So that's the time lock. It's not obvious, but it's there. So how does Cormos solve this? Cormos introduced vaults which are designed specifically to hold assets for the optimal time period, as well as absorb lockups and maturities. When users come to Cormos, they specify their duration and risk preference, and we offer them two products. First product is Prime, which is being liquid and senior, and second product is Boosted, which is a junior tranche and offers like redemption periods. Both products are built on top of our vaults. As I said, Prime offers, Prime is a senior tranche. It offers higher APY than vanilla lending, and it also gets a capital protection by the junior tranche. While Boosted product offers good APY for actually taking a risk-on approach, right, and taking a redemption period approach. And they also protect the prime product and as being as a junior tranche. That's it. Thanks for listening. We are in a private batch right now, and thanks. Feel free to reach out. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, BM. Check, check.
Working again, yeah?
Maybe. I feel like we just can't hear ourselves.
Yeah.
No, all good. All good. If you can hear me in the back, we'll keep going. Fantastic. All right, we have our next builder coming up. Mike Miller from Manifest Markets is going to join us. Manifest.trade. No, you're good. You're good.
Not yet. No, I can't hear you yet. Okay. The mic guy. It's like when his mic works, it's very obvious.
Yeah. Okay, now it's gone.
That sounds good.
There we go.
Mike, take it away.
All right, guys. How you guys doing? I am Mike from Manifest Trade. I'm a co-founder. Most people have never heard of us, but we're actually one of the largest dexes on Solana in terms of volume. I would say top 3, sometimes the #1 dex on Solana. We're an order book dex, so we kind of took it back from where Solana started, Serum days, and we rebuilt the whole thing. Yeah, and I want to talk about like what we are seeing in the current market. In the past quarter over quarter, everyone knows volume has truly fallen off a cliff. We're down almost 40% from last quarter, tied to either the hacks or just low volume in all of crypto. Not really sure what it is. But what we are seeing is stablecoins are still there, and also RWAs, tokenized stocks. And we've started taking on most of that volume. Right now we're doing about 30% of the market share in stablecoins, and 40% of LSTs, and about 10% of all like X stocks. Now, what is that saying about our market? I think that's like where we're actually growing. I think people are starting to stop the, just going for meme tokens, and they're actually buying value add things or using stablecoins. And that's kind of where I think Solana needs to go back to, is the value add. And people are starting to want to use actual limit orders, and that's why we've really blown up, to be honest. And you can just see in the past, our volume, we're not even a year old yet, and we're doing about 3 to 5 billion in volume a month. So that's really pointing to where the market's going with stablecoins. That's where we have just taken over the whole market. And you can just see, like, in terms of stablecoin volume, 3 years ago, it was basically nothing. That's kind of where I see we are right now with the tokenized securities. We are just beginning with that, and 2 billion sounds like a lot, but it's actually nothing in terms of tokenized securities. And that's where I think most people need to start building and start focusing on. Those users that want to trade those, I would say, are more professional. So we have to make better UIs, better products to trade those. Limit orders are extremely important, not resting orders. I think our consumers are starting to realize that, and we need to get a little away from the meme coin market, especially with institutions. The institutions we're talking to some of the biggest ones in the world, and they're just saying the AMMs, they can't handle me trading $20 billion in a day and they taking 50 basis points per trade. That's insane. So you have to get them products that they're actually going to use. And we personally think it's the order book, the perp dex, and then also options. Most of our big boy users want options now, not only perps. So we just launched options. They're a little bit more complicated than perps. You have a lot of Greeks and stuff, but it's what institutions want, and that's what we need to start building for. We think the order book is the root of everything in TradFi, and it's really just starting to grow. People are finally realizing the order book, how powerful the order book is, and especially with stablecoins too. Western Union just launched theirs. We've partnered with them. It's kind of a weird situation for even them, is they don't understand AMMs. So these big institutions, they understand order books. They don't understand AMMs. Then they don't understand the fees being charged. So their users are trying to find ways to swap out of their new USDT basically and into their stablecoin. And how do you do that without getting charged a big fee? You have to do that kind of stuff on an order book. So that's kind of where Manifest is. It's still very young, but it's one of the biggest dexes, and it's because the product is so good. I'd love for you guys to check it out. And that's really all I got for today.
Yo, thank you, Mike. That was awesome. Are we on mic right now in the back? Okay. Can we hear me in the back right now? No.
How's this?
No? Oh, there we go. Great. Mike, thank you so much, brother. That was awesome. It's so cool that, you know, new teams here on Solana can gain so much volume so quickly, and like the amount that they're now doing in literal billions is insane. It looks like they're ready to, you know, level up.
I think they call that product market fit.
Yes, Mike's got product market fit. Well done, brother. But yeah, now doing literal millions of dollars or billions of dollars in volume. Now ready to bring it to the next level and start getting their name out there. We have up next, I've got here Super Team USA member, Mark from Spout Finance. Welcome to the stage, brother.
Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate you having me here today. I think I'm good on the mic, right? Yeah, perfect. Awesome. I'm Mark, co-founder of Spout Finance, where we are offering 0% interest margin loans to borrowers while still being able to provide a pretty high delta neutral yield to lenders. So the problem, the S&P 500 returns on average about 10% per year. Some brokerages such as Schwab charge up to 10% interest on margin loans for the S&P, which means you're netting 0% on these levered trades. Even worse, if you're in an emerging market and you're using a local brokerage, your interest that you're being charged could amount to 30 to 50%, which means that margin trading is actively destroying your wealth. If you compare Spout to these other major brokerages like Schwab and Robinhood, the typical interest rates they charge respectively are about 10 and 5%. The way we have, I guess, built our platform is we're effectively charging 0% interest, which is obviously an enormous unlock. And the LTVs that we can offer are much, much higher, which means we can offer much higher leverage on your margin trades. The trade-off is that we are selling covered calls on the borrower's collateral, and we're using this yield to fund the lender instead of actually charging the borrower a typical interest rate. That means that the true cost of borrowing then becomes, instead of your typical interest rate, it's how much your upside is capped. The algorithm that we have optimized essentially, on average, amounts to about 0.2% for all the assets that we're supporting. How it works, obviously, it sounds a little complex. I'll try to break it up as simply as possible. You have borrowers on one hand, lenders on the other side. Borrowers are depositing their equities as collateral. In exchange, they're receiving these 0% interest stablecoin loans. Lenders, on the other hand, are staking or lending their stablecoins to the platform. And in exchange, they are receiving this pretty high delta neutral yield, which can amount to about 15%. The way it's working, as I explained before, is that the borrower's collateral is being used in this covered call strategy, where essentially off-chain, we're selling call options X% out of the money. And instead of the borrower receiving these premiums from selling these options, we're actually routing the premium to the lending pool, which is then distributed to the lender. It's pretty cool from the lending perspective because you have all the upside of a covered call strategy, which is a very profitable strategy, without any of the downside, which is exposure to the underlying asset. The way I like to describe it is kind of like picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. If a hedge fund were to run this strategy, it works until it doesn't. The cool part is that the borrower is perfectly content being long the asset because they're trying to margin trade it anyway. So we're essentially customizing risk and return and separating them between borrower and lender. And then from the borrowing perspective, it's interesting because you're getting these free loans, which means, well, much higher returns. From the lending side, if you compare us to the other players, you have your typical staking yield, which is pretty small. You have the Aave and Caminos of the world, which under pretty high utilization, it doesn't amount to much, and is also very volatile in what your returns actually will be. And then lastly, you have the Athenas of the world, which up until now have been running the basis trade, which is compressed heavily and is also very much subject to the market. Our yield, it's a lot more predictable, and a lot more market agnostic. Even in a crappy year, which is like 2017, which is very low vol, the yield compresses to about like 8 to 9%, which is obviously still pretty high for delta neutral yield. It's all back tested over 10 years. The true cost of borrowing, like I said before, comes out to be about 0.2% on average. And obviously, as you can see, for kind of your blue chip assets, we're much cheaper than the likes of Schwab. We're still not live, but we are currently being incubated by Solana Labs. We are backed by several large investors, partnered with several large players, part of Super Team USA. Pretty stoked about that. And yeah, hopefully you're going to be live soon. We should have our beta up and running in about a month's time. And yeah, your stocks should work as hard as you do. Spot Finance. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mark. All right. We have our next builder coming into the stage. This man who definitely doesn't need his own introduction, considering he was the MC for this last year. But very excited to bring up Dan from the DFlow team. Hot off the tails of some very exciting announcements they had with Coinbase, I believe it was this morning. But Dan, whenever you're ready, sir, you've got the stage.
Thank you. Is the mic working okay? Can everybody hear me?
Sounds
Great.
good.
Awesome. Well, welcome to Miami for everybody that's traveling in. I'm actually based here, so it's a pleasure to host you in my home city. And please do reach out if we can help with anything on your time here. We hope it's great, as are these guys as well, too. Cool. So I've been pushing this thematic narrative recently on Twitter about DFlow as the most trusted Solana aggregator. And today I wanted to take a few moments and shed a little bit more light on that and how I think that came to be over the last year. So right now, DFlow is the focal point for trading on Solana across spot crypto tokens, prediction markets, as you know, and tokenized equities. But today, I want to focus solely on spot token trading. So the DFlow aggregator went live a little over 1 year ago in April 2025. Since then, we have processed 50 billion in volume. And to our knowledge, this is the fastest ramp up for a Solana aggregator ever. We have over 1 million active traders per month. We average about 75% majority routing in our lead partners, which include many consumer apps that live on Solana, like Phantom and FOMO and whatnot, tying into the Consumer Day theme here. And of course, over the last year, we've seen over 100x growth in integrations. So the very first catalyst for a lot of this growth came as DFlow was the first aggregator to ship fully on-chain routing, actually 9 months ago now. It's been a while, but I wanted to revisit some of the past here. So in September of 2025, we launched just-in-time routing. And this was a huge hit across the network, including with some of our main partners like Helios, Camino, and Meridian, which had a lot of great things to say about price, execution, and the aggregator quality of DFlow. And really what this does is it takes frozen static routing and turns it into dynamic, fully on-chain routing, where your route could be re-optimized up until the last moment of execution, even mid-transaction. And with this, the growth team at DFlow had a goal that we wanted to touch every single app that is on Solana, that uses the network, et cetera. And so in May 2025, we had 4 apps and 4 integrations, Phantom, Camino, Jupiter, and Ranger, and we had done 3 billion in cumulative volume at that point. Now, fast forward 1 year later to May 2026, and we've seen over 100x growth. We have 500 plus integrations across Solana, many cross-chain exchanges, wallets, trading apps, retail apps, et cetera. And we've done over 50 billion in cumulative trading volume over this time. And to point out as well too, D-Flow limits very heavily against ARB volume, so most of this 50 billion is all retail trading. It's all consumer trading on Solana. And this morning, we actually had some really exciting breaking news from CoinDesk that went live around 6:30 a.m. So as of a few weeks ago, Coinbase has boosted their Solana trading with the D-Flow integration. Coinbase adding D-Flow as its primary router will mean 8 times less trade failures. Thank you. Yeah, we are super excited about this. A year's culmination of hard work to power a U.S. publicly traded exchange and one of the leaders in the regulatory footprint across all of crypto in the U.S. as the primary routing venue here for Solana trading. And so, yeah, this is just highlighting kind of what was all posted today by all of the teams and the incredible work. But getting into like the meat and the bones of what this integration actually means and does. So D-Flow holds 60% now of daily volume share. Coinbase saw an 8x reduction in non-routable trades. They saw an 88% drop in quote errors. And now no liquidity tokens, which they were previously receiving, now trade after integrating D-Flow, especially important on the sell side as opposed to the buy side here too. So really, we're setting up the rest of 2026 to be the endgame Solana router. All right. Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Absolutely huge news. Great to see. Yeah, D-Flow literally powering the backbone of consumer trading for Solana.
Oh yeah, when I had first met Dan, I had never heard of D-Flow, believe it or not, and you bet your ass I've heard of them now. One of the craziest, largest come-ups I've ever seen. The amount of market share taken and the amount of, I see them on their timeline literally all day, every day. Every day it's a new partner announcement. It feels like this Coinbase announcement is like just a culmination of all the hard work we've seen. Founder-led marketing works, guys. That D-Flow has been absolutely crushing it with that.
And shout out to Dan for being one of the original super team Miami Rangers. Couldn't have done it without you, man. All right.
Yeah, sweet. I'll get into the next one here. We've got Max from Melee Markets. Ready to roll, Max?
Ready. What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Max from Melee, and I'm here to talk about permissionless prediction markets. We haven't gone live yet, so a lot of what you're going to be hearing today will be new. So, okay, for a long time, permissionless prediction markets were impossible. The main reason is that no system could satisfy 2 core requirements. The first is bootstrapping liquidity without market makers or subsidies. The second is a competitive trading experience. That is until we invented a new mechanism called the pari-mutuel market maker, or the PMM. So the PMM is the first market maker designed for assets that are guaranteed to expire. They're auto-bootstrapping and continuously tradable. They're an evolution of pari-mutuel systems that were invented back in 1867, commonly known from horse racing or horse betting. And we've updated the system with modern technology using on-chain logic. What this allows is unlocking $100 billion of DeFi liquidity to create a baseline of liquidity for all markets. And it also allows passive capital to be profitable. So PMM is the first design where vaults earn, markets get depth, and volume compounds. There's $100 billion of addressable capital, but only $550 million of it is actually locked in prediction markets. So that's a 200 times addressable gap. And I really view this as prediction markets YouTube moment, when all of a sudden you unblock and unlock permissionless creation. What we've seen is that every category that unlocks permissionlessness grows 1,000x, and prediction markets are next. Before YouTube, there were 10,000 shows, maybe 100 networks, and gatekeepers picked the content, and they chased a mass audience. After YouTube, there's millions of creators all creating content at scale in various niches. I don't think anybody could have predicted that Mr. Beast was going to become the most viewed creator in the world. The result wasn't more TV, it was a new category shaped by creators and communities that no network could serve. So in this way, Polymarket and Kalshi are networks. They're curating an experience of markets, and Melee is a platform. And what this allows is that creators do what curators can't. Polymarket and Kalshi scales with their team. Anytime they want to deploy a new market in a new niche, a new vertical, a new geography, they have to hire new people to be able to serve that market. Melee scales with the internet. So we empower creators to launch markets in their language, in their geography, in their area of expertise. And then they're able to distribute that using their audience, monetizing their audience, earning direct revenue. And what compounds there is a TAM that is basically infinite. We're going to be able to see markets from Brazilian politics to EPL football to decentralized insurance. Really, whatever the internet or society is able to price, we'll be able to serve. That's it. Thank you.
Fantastic. I think the last time I saw Max was Breakpoint in Singapore. Yeah. That's
Were you
fantastic.
also presenting there?
No, just running around. Still shipping it. Max, is this legal yet? Cool. Depends on the geo. Love that. Fair. I mean, I feel week over week we're seeing something else change or get shipped in the prediction market side. You know, it's not the entire game is just about what happens in the United States. We got multiple places now. Developments happening.
And the view is sort of like over the coming years that prediction markets will be sort of like user generated, right? That's the idea that we're all pushing towards, where now you've enabled, sort of how YouTube enabled everyone to make videos, now we're enabling everyone to make their own prediction markets and sort of bet against each other that way.
Yeah, and I guess it won't all just be crazy financial prediction markets, but something a little lighter akin to that.
Yeah, I think when I first pictured prediction markets, I assumed always there'd be like one overarching power that's setting very like specific markets, but now that seems to be like fully unlocked, which I didn't see coming, but clearly people are building for it.
Watch the space. Great. Yeah. And then next, Pravesh from Totalis. Sir, you have the stage.
Thank you. So, hi guys, let's talk about the fun stuff. How many of you guys have heard of parlays? Quick show of hands. Okay. Quite a shame, we are in Miami, guys. So, let me just talk about what parlays are for a minute, and then we can move ahead. So, parlays are a wager where you can combine multiple bets together, and if you win all of them, then you win a bigger payout. So, let me give an example. It's a pretty common tool that people use for sports betting. So, if Lakers win, LeBron scores 30 plus points and 6 plus rebounds. So that's like 3-leg parlay, and then if all of them come true, you win like a crazy big payout. So that's the idea. Let me talk about why this matters. So Kalshi recently launched last year, September, combos that are basically parlays for sports. In the sense, what you can do was you can combine multiple bets together, and the volume just went crazy. They were doubling every month, and they're doing like $3 billion volume just like month over month now. And you can see all the volume comes from sports and exotic. Exotic is basically just like you combining multiple sports categories like UFC, NFL, NBA together into like one parlay. And that's like almost half of the volume. And you'd be surprised, parlays, they don't market it quite well, but like parlays are almost 26% of Kalshi's total volume on the total exchange. And it's been kind of like quietly taking off, and not a lot of people are using and talking about it. And another quite cool insight that we found was that most of these parlays that people want to place are like sub 10 cents. That means like if you win, you're going to win like a crazy big payout. In the sense you put in $5 to $10, and you're going to win like $1,000, $10,000. So let me give you an example. So here's an example. Like a guy just bet $15, and he won like upwards of 140K. And sportsbook love parlays because sportsbook have 70% of their volume and revenue generated by parlays, and they're a pretty popular product for them to double down on. So we thought, like, why does parlay only exist for sports? Like, it's such a crazy category. It's like growing so fast. Like everybody loves it. There's billions of dollars of companies like FanDuel, DraftKings, Kalshi is like becoming popular. Like why not like we bring parlays to like another category? So we thought, not anymore. We're gonna bring parlays to prediction markets. So now what we're building at Totalis is basically you can parlay on anything in the sense what we saw unlocked was that like with prediction markets, people started thinking in sequential bets in the sense, oh, if I know Trump's going to win the elections, what should I place my bet on the next? So we thought like, oh, if Trump's going to win, the oil prices might go up and the TSA check-ins might go down. So it's like I can place a wager like that and I can win like a big payout. So we are form of sort of helping retail users unlock because retail's ticket size is pretty small, like it's less than $25 to $50 per bet. And we are allowing them to kind of place these small bets and win a big upside potential. So that's what we're building at Totalis. And our long-term goal is to build like more of these products using prediction markets. So if you guys are interested and if this is like remotely interesting to you guys, please sign up our waitlist and we'd love to showcase our app to you guys. Thank you.
That's wild.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Is it live yet?
No, it's on private beta right now. So if you sign up on the waitlist, we'll get the link. But,
Is it, so like, does it hit across like meme coins, X stocks, prediction markets? Like, how do you layer it in?
So we use existing prediction markets to kind of use as a market data. So now you can basically make parlays on sports price in the sense like if Bitcoin price goes up, I can make Bitcoin up, Solana up, Ethereum down or something like that. And I can just like place a 3-bet wager. I can place a bet on like Miami is going to rain today, New York is going to be sunny tomorrow. So something like that. So you can combine cross categories and cross platform together. So that's going to blow up soon. So that's like another user insight.
Fantastic. Very cool.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Pravesh. I think we're going to see a good amount of launches today.
Yeah, this is no better week than Accelerate Week to launch and bring news to the table, right?
All of these QR codes are private beta releases.
Yeah, I am loving the QR codes, but didn't we recently learn that it's like a bad QR code meta now? You can't just be scanning QR codes everywhere.
Can't. No, you can't.
All of these QR codes were tested ahead of time. Don't worry, guys. It is safe.
This room is a safe space.
This room is a safe space. All right, we'll hop into the next one here. Nasti, are you ready now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. It's Nasti from Worm. He's ready to go.
Hi, everybody. This is Nas. I'm co-founder and CEO of Worm Prediction Markets. The last two talks, they were about prediction markets. We are a leverage prediction market. We launched a couple months ago. We are growing double digit. As you can see, this is the homepage. We are offering leverage on a wide range of prediction markets, ranging from sports all the way to religion, as you can see, if Jesus is going to come back later this year. So if you would like to trade prediction markets with leverage, Worm is a place. And today is about the consumer products and consumer day on Solana. I would like to focus off this talk specifically about some consumer trends we see on Worm. One very interesting thing we are seeing, new consumer behavior emerging around prediction markets. And something very interesting we are seeing is like people streaming games, especially sports, on Worm. And people, they can do live trading. Something very cool about prediction markets, which was not possible before prediction markets, is basically engaging during the game. People, they bet, they change their bets, they change the odds during the game. And we are seeing it's happening right now on Worm. And with leverage, it's more fun. In this slide, I wanted to talk about like while the video is going and like people, they can trade during the game. Unfortunately, we cannot play the video here, but basically the idea you would get it is like while the game is going, they can trade people. Basically, during the game, as different teams they score, here is just like we put one of the Miami Heat games. We are in Miami. Just like it's a very fun behavior we see emerging among users. And basically, the trading is super simple. We developed this trading model very similar to basically all trading apps, but this is specifically for prediction markets. Users, they can come, bet, they change their leverage. And something I want to highlight, you hear a lot about leverage for prediction markets, and they talk about like 10x, 100x or something. It's all BS. It's not going to work for prediction markets. They are not synthetic. So basically, whenever a trading platform about prediction markets, they talk about like leverage above like 5 or something, you should really question it. So basically, we offer leverage up to 5x, and yeah, that's basically how users they can trade, and they can exit their position. They can put limit orders, which is one of the cool options we have on Worm. And basically, yeah, go try it on Worm WTF. And you may ask what markets we are offering leverage. Basically, we are aggregating all the prediction markets out there, Poly Market, Kalshi, and also our own order book. And whatever big games happening, whatever big markets there are there, you can basically open positions with leverage on Worm. Yeah, please give it a try. Thank you.
For the streaming, are you seeing it mainly for like sportscaster wannabe people,
Yes.
or are you seeing people do it for like news as well?
So mostly so far it has been sports, and actually we are welcoming streamers that they want to do for news as well. Like something very interesting, it was like the PSG game a few days ago, and apparently there is a commentator on YouTube. He has a lot of followers, and people, they want to listen to him rather than going on ESPN or somewhere else. So people, they go there, and the other cool thing he had is just like he was streaming on Worm, which is very cool. And we are encouraging all the streamers who would like to engage their community with prediction markets to come on Worm and just DM us. We can help you to basically stream in a very fun way.
So the streamer sets the market while they're streaming, and you can sort of watch that in real time.
Yes. Yes.
Really cool.
But you have to. We haven't opened it yet to everybody, so you have to work with us to open that market for you. But the idea here is like we are in an alpha phase, but the idea here would be like eventually anybody can spin up a market. But because we are early days, there are still some rough patches we have to iron out.
Of course. When the stream ends, does the market have to close?
Yeah.
Got it. Very cool. Thank you, Nasi. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. I don't think
Give
we
it
have
up.
a break. We keep going, right? Break is later. Break is later. I think we're right.
Do we have? I think we have Victor ready. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to invite Victor Fisher from Rockaway X.
I think Rockaway X is quite the OG here. I've been hearing about them for years.
Longer than that.
Yeah, since
Hi guys,
2021.
thank you so much. So Miami, new town for Solana. I'm going to talk about different markets today, but I chose one in particular, which is the second largest consumer, actually second largest segment generating revenue in crypto. The first one is exchanges. What do you think is the second largest use case of crypto today? No, it's not stable coins. It's betting. So I'm going to talk today about on-chain betting. These are, can you see the slides, yeah? Okay, so these are kind of like 9 markets we are looking at Rockaway X. Overall, crypto industry today, roughly $86 billion revenue per year. Half of it is trading. Centralized exchanges, DEXs, trading terminals like Axiom and others, you name it, it's there, it's half. But then the second largest market is betting, $10 billion. What is it? I actually put prediction markets there too, but it's small. It's only roughly 250 for Kalshi, 250 or so for Polymarket, so only $500 million. But $10 billion revenue, half of it is stake.com. Stake.com makes $4.7 billion revenue, $1 billion profit. It's massive. Then the second, for example, is Shuffle. This market of online betting grew 5 times since 2 years. Anyone today can create an online betting platform. For example, you can use mainframe.io, couple of clicks, boom, your online casino can be up and running. But don't do it simply like this because you'll end up like lag.io, which is a platform which went down after 11 months, after several failures, mostly because of super high marketing spend. They spend $500,000 on influencers like Kobe, for example. And also there were issues and lag.io was not necessarily provably fair. So how should you do it? 3 things. Number 1, gamify, gamify, gamify. Today there is a infrastructure which already exists, 1 trillion spot trading volume, 3 trillion derivatives, futures trading volume. Just leverage that infrastructure to gamify perps, for example. Let me show you a demo. I hope this works. Doesn't. So I wanted to show a demo of, maybe you can help me guys, yeah? Yeah, you can see, huh? Okay, so this was developed by Mitch X from Switchboard. It's basically a real-time trading 30 seconds on 125x leverage on Bitcoin chart. So right now I push my button like a mobile and boom, I entered into a position and now I'm trading, I am long. And as you can see, I'm roughly minus $1 because the chart has been going down and I have up to 30 seconds to hold my finger down. I release, boom, I lost $0.17. Let me try to do short because Bitcoin is going down, so I try to short. Boom, I'm in my short position, but the chart is going up right now, so I am minus $2. And I keep holding my finger to hope I will be positive, but not. I close my position minus $2. These are kind of, very quick games that the current generation, they love playing. Can we go back to the two slides? So gamify, gamify, gamify. You can gamify plenty of things. We saw, for example, a platform which allows you to guess what will be the last digit of the speed of the hockey puck during NHL games. Someone is shooting and you guess just the last digit of that, like 150 miles per hour. Plenty of things you can bet on. Second, use AI. AI live dealers are technology which is already functioning. One of our portfolio companies, Bedhawk, just launched a B2B platform, Sentient Studios. Just go on there and you can launch a live dealer, looks like a human. It's a massive market. So I don't know if you heard about Evolution. Evolution Gaming is a company which employs 8,000 employees in Romania in warehouses, and they're basically playing casino with you. Now, this market is going down because it's being replaced by AI. Not only on casinos, but also on games. So today you have AI which can play FIFA, for example, and also doing live commentators. So imagine Trump and Ayatollah Khamenei playing FIFA together. And of course, AI-driven trading and betting. I am inspired by platforms like Milo, for example, where you can bet on different trading agents. There is an arena. I think this is cool. Third, distribution, distribution, distribution. Don't be like DraftKings, which is spending 20% of their revenue on marketing. Stake.com pays roughly 7 to 10%, so roughly $500 million in marketing spend per year. Maybe you saw it, $100 million contract with Drake, $100 million with XQC. Use clipping. You pay up to $3 for 1,000 clicks. Platforms like evangelist.so, for example, allow you to have millions of views for a couple of $1,000s per week and build for the new generation.
Thank you.
It's done.
I think that was kind of like masterclass. Are we good?
Yeah, I'm noticing a bit of a trend here with betting and prediction markets.
Well, I was saying that was a masterclass on pretty much the best go-to-market that any gaming gambling group could do. You guys have a very interesting insight into that side of the space as well. I forgot about luck until we talked about it just now. But yeah, it's not weird to see a bunch of these kind of games be like a flash in the pan. I think it is very interesting now. Like groups like Mainframe are trusted, but like very easy to just go ask Claude Code, hey, can we rip a casino here today? And you can get pretty far. But the regulatory side definitely makes it interesting as well. All right.
Yeah, for sure. Letting him get his spotlight and photos here, and then we get started on the next one. Ramit from Alchemy, are you ready to roll?
Let's do it.
All right, sweet.
Cool. Hey, everyone. My name is Romit. I lead enterprise sales at Alchemy, and here to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing in the Solana ecosystem. If you're not familiar with Alchemy, we're actually the leading blockchain developer platform, been in the space for over 8 years now, powering all the top digital native businesses. Ones you're familiar with are like Coinbase, Polymarket, WorldCoin, Uniswap, OpenSea, and all the top institutions in the space as well. That's from JP Morgan, Fidelity, Visa, and so on. What they really look to us for is providing really, really performant, high throughput, low latency infrastructure to be able to give their end consumers a more reliable and trustworthy application experience. So let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the Solana ecosystem. We've been in this space, like I said, for over 8 years now. Just 4 years ago, we noticed that there was less than 500,000 weekly active wallets on Solana, That number's actually grown to over 2 million weekly active wallets. And with that explosion, we're seeing the need for more and more reliable infrastructure, to the tune of actually a market of almost $80 million just this year being spent on more reliable Solana infrastructure. So why do many of these digital native businesses and institutions keep looking to Alchemy to power their applications? It's really about where we're focused this year. And those are really 3 primary areas to give Solana builders more reliant and more performant infrastructure. First off, it's on streaming. When we went to Breakpoint last year, all Solana developers, their #1 most requested feature was more performant gRPC streaming. We have to meet them where they are. There's a lot of state data to parse through. We need to make sure they can serve that really, really reliably. The next thing they were looking for is really reliable archive data. We know some of the top Solana teams are distributed around the world, from the US to APAC and everywhere in between. So we need to make sure that we can transform that data at scale and ensure that they can always read the latest state data and serve that on the front end of their applications. The third thing they're looking for is more unified APIs. When you're looking at market data in Solana, there's a lot of different ways to get it. From Radium, from Pump Fund, we want to make sure that we can give them a single unified experience to fetch data at scale. So why do these builders continue to choose us? It's because they can rely on us. We can provide them really performant infrastructure. What we're looking for moving forward is really ambitious developers. We actually just launched our new $20 million credit fund. So that means any Solana developer that wants to test our infrastructure worldwide can reach out to us. We're happy to benchmark your data and show you why we should be powering your application. So please come find us afterwards. Find me on Twitter, alchemy.com, and we'd love to work together. Thank you.
Fantastic. I think similar to our friends at DFlow, Alchemy has done an amazing job, I feel like, powering almost all the consumer apps that we have in this space.
Yeah.
MoonPay is definitely a happy partner on that side.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think people might be surprised at like how much of that infra layer that you guys are plugging in and optimizing.
Totally. It's completely abstracted, so you may not even know underneath the hood how much we're doing and partnering together there.
Yeah.
So.
And I also know you guys are doing a bunch on the agent side of it as well.
Yeah, we are. There's a lot more to come on that side. The agentic capabilities are super exciting, but essentially all of our APIs available via CLI and via MCP. So anything like any agentic workflow that needs to fetch on-chain data, they don't even need to sign up for an account. They can just access our APIs and pay agentically through like an MPP standard or an X402 standard. So really cool.
Seeing some good usage there?
Yeah, it's been really exciting. I feel like we've seen MPP outpace X402 over the past few months, but we actually project in the next 12 to 18 months that agentic compute will outpace human compute. So we have to build all of our APIs in our stack to be both readily observable by agents, but also like easily searchable and scalable for them as well. So yeah, it's been exciting.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fun time.
All right, thank you for having me. Thanks, guys.
All right, moving on along. We've got Andres from Magic Book. Magic Block. Magic Block.
Is it live? Is it running? Cool. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Magic Block. And today I'm going to show you a bunch of apps that perhaps you didn't think would be possible on Solana, but in fact are already live thanks to real-time and private compute. First of all, a little bit about us. We're a team of researchers and low-level system engineers on a mission to bring real-time elastic compute to Solana. And the reason why we want to do that is because fundamentally we believe that you can run any type of application on-chain. The reason why you shouldn't just have assets on-chain is because the moment your entire application logic is a smart contract, your application is going to be verifiable. It's going to compose seamlessly with any other smart contract. It's going to be persistent, meaning nobody can shut it down. It's permissionless, and it can enable business model that otherwise wouldn't work with a traditional server. We're particularly excited about 3 main categories, so I'm going to give you example of application for each of these 3: real-time trading, privacy, and financialized games. So first of all, when it comes to trading, it's already possible to trade in real time on Solana today. There's a bunch of consumer apps that are pioneering the tap-to-trade category, which effectively are simplifying the interface for the younger generation, Gen Alpha, Gen Z, to interact with any on-chain financial primitives with just a tap on the screen. But not only consumer app, even more quote-unquote more serious platform like FlashTrade, one of the top 5 perp DEX on Solana. The team is amazing. They're completely bootstrapped, already profitable. They're building the next version of their perp DEX on Solana with MagicBlock. As you can see, they're enabling their users to play instant trades. You can move around you can place the take profit and stop loss order just by moving around the lines on the chart as you would do on Binance. And the benefit is pretty clear. They're giving their users better user experience, and they're enabling market makers to quote exactly as they're doing on Binance without having to worry about gas fee, while at the same time retaining composability with Solana DeFi for their collateral assets and while staying censorship resistant. These type of apps are possible because they're using MagicBlock under the hood. They are built as a smart contract, and they're integrating an instruction, which is a delegation. Delegation invoke an ephemeral rollup session. Think of ephemeral rollup as verifiable servers. We don't replace Solana transaction. We replace those transactions that would normally run on a centralized server, except that now the application is entirely composable with Solana. You can commit the state diff. You can CPI into other programs because it's an SVM environment. And when you're done, you just wind down the session. And essentially, it's like having on-demand, real-time elastic compute for your smart contract. When it comes to privacy, one of my favorite apps is Loyal. Loyal is building a one-stop shop for automatizing your financial lives with agents and doing it privately. You can encrypt your stablecoin, earn a yield, and then deploy agents that essentially do stuff with your money, help you get additional yield, suggest trading strategy, and do that confidentially without revealing what they're actually doing. And then, of course, when it comes to privacy, the first thing that comes to mind is payments. In order for commerce to meaningfully move on chain, a lot of institutions are going to need privacy. Lufta is an example of an application that is enabling you to send USDC to any other mainnet address by breaking the link between the sender and the recipient, or you can encrypt your funds and send them in real time and privately to any other Solana address, and then have the users withdraw their money whenever they want for extra confidentiality. This is a kind of very particular period of time for consumers. There's, I would argue, a bit of disillusionment for consumer crypto, but what we're seeing is actually real product market fit for any consumer-based use cases that have money at stake, whether it's a casino that promise users to be more fair and verifiable, to on-chain games like Solitaire, which is actually more popular than online poker, to give more censorship-resistant property to their users and allow them to withdraw their money whenever they want. And in terms of consumer insights that we're noticing, the story that Tolly tells that you can get your first 1,000 users from Seeker is actually true, especially for the smaller developers who are seeing that they publish their app on the Solana mobile phone and they get their go-to-market that way. The average spend for these users is insane. They spend $40 on average per month, which is almost an order of magnitude higher than one user usually spends on the app stores for off-chain apps. And retention is also sky high. Almost 1 in 2 users stay after a month or season over season for some of these experiences. So if you want to stay in touch, everything that we build is open source, so you can check out our GitHub or follow us on X. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andres.
Man, Solana is the place for gaming and trading, huh? Seeing a lot of that tonight.
Someone did knock it earlier saying the Web3 gaming side isn't there, but I'm sure our friends at Rockway would agree that the combo of Web3 gaming and gambling is definitely very much still alive. It was the bottom left on the presentation, but Dolero, that was very fun to watch. People actually playing that, and they definitely care about it. Yeah, very cool.
Give me 1 second. I'm getting a Raposa coffee delivery real quick. Everyone pause everything that they're doing. Here we go, sir. Bless you, sir.
Fantastic.
Right. I got it. All right, we've got a Ranger from Solomon Labs ready to go.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey.
I think I need that coffee.
Do we do more deliveries, or is it just the one?
Can we get more?
Yeah, you got to run up quick, though. Just one more.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Ranga. I am the co-founder of Solomon Labs. Some of you may have heard about us from our recent MetaDAO launch. Shout out to MetaDAO. What that allowed us to move our thesis from something that was theoretical to proof points that I'll be presenting today. At the highest level, what we're doing is we're building infrastructure layer for productive dollars. And when it comes to stablecoins, I think we all understand that they have PMF, they're easy to understand, they're simple, they're spendable, and you understand the risk that you take on when you hold something like USDC or USDT. The trade-off arises when you try to earn on your stablecoins. You're forced to put them into a vault, stake them, or wrap them up. And that introduces multiple middlemen layer risk from programmatic to operational. And we've seen what some of that looks like over the last few months with the recent exploits. But more importantly, it actually changes the nature of the dollar. So the stablecoin you had no longer behaves like money. It is put into a savings instrument that is fundamentally different, and you can no longer treat it like the dollar you expected as a stablecoin on chain. So what we've done is we've separated out the earn layer from the dollar itself. And what that allows us to do is to route the yield to where stablecoin balances live instead of you having to move your stablecoins and do something else. And this results in a dollar that continues to behave like a dollar while being able to earn with no additional action required from the user. The way we make that possible is through yield as a service, YAS for short. It is the control plane for productive balances. And the way it works is we understand the balances that live on chain, who the economic owner of those balances is. We're able to attribute the yield, and then we're able to route and settle that yield based on policy. So it could be as complex as an LP position on Meteora, or a DeFi lending position on Camino, or as simple as you holding a balance within your wallet. We understand that balance, we understand the economics of it, and we're able to route the yield to where your stablecoin balances live. This allows that dollar to earn in place without changing any of the structure. So what we've done is we've stood up USDV, which is our own stablecoin. And we've ran a private beta at cap TVL of 3 million over the past 8 months or so. And what that's allowed us to show is that we can create market efficiency if we can embed the risk-free rate into where the stablecoin balances live. And there's 2 case studies here. The first is Oro. Oro is a tokenized gold product. You can get exposure by buying the gold token, and the primary way to do that is through their Meteora position where they have paired gold with USDC liquidity. What we did is we changed the USDC leg into USDV. This allowed us to route the yield to the LP position itself, and with this additional yield, the market maker was able to lower their trading fees. And this resulted in actually more trading flow occurring through their LP position. The net result was higher returns, and all of this was configurable in terms of policy, in terms of who within the LP position was earning and where that yield was routed. The other case study is Avicii, an integration that we're working on, which is a neobank that holds a large amount of float of USDC across their multiple users. We're able to monetize that float through USDV by routing yield to where it sits, and Avicii is able to set policy such that they're able to earn on their float or pass through some of that yield to their users. Now, in terms of what that actually looks like, this is what an issuer console would look like for an issuer to route that yield. They're able to select their venues, surfaces, and then set policy, and then after that policy has been set, they can start to distribute yield programmatically to their endpoints. This means that we can allow issuers to route yields based on policy in a matter of clicks versus months of integration and bespoke customization. Solomon right now is in a private closed beta, but we are wrapping up our audit, which will be completed in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll go live with retail usage of USDV alongside onboarding additional issuers who will route yield through the YAS infrastructure. Now, in terms of what this opportunity presents, this isn't just about stablecoins. It's about any productive asset that needs to be able to route economics based on policy. So think of securities and dividend distributions. The same infrastructure will be applicable. And here, I guess the final presentation is we're building a better dollar with USDV, and we will be opening up retail access to YAS in the coming weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done.
Very cool.
Before we jump to the next one, something I've always wanted to do and very excited for here. If you are driving the blue Audi starting with license plate 60G, you are illegally parked. If you are driving a white Suburban with the license plate 33A, you are illegally parked and your car might get towed. I'm watching people get up from this. This is very fun. Go get your cars, boys. Go get your cars. Run, run, run. That was actually a lot of fun. You got the next guy?
I do. I do. This is a fun one because he's Miami local. Welcome to the stage, our node from Dune. Sir, floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. How's everybody doing?
Electric.
Good? Exciting. All right. My name is Arno. I'm with Dune Analytics, not the movie. As a Miami local, I'm super excited to welcome you for an exciting crypto day. I don't know if you've spent time at the track, but we're so excited. If you're not familiar with Dune, we are the leading on-chain data platform. We have about 1 million users, 25,000 enterprises, institutions use Dune every day, asset manager, banks, regulators, you name it. And today I want to talk about two things that I'm very passionate about. Of course, Solana. The second one is stablecoin. And I'm going to try to tell you maybe a story through on-chain data that you've never heard before. So first, let's look at the data. What you see here is all the retail wallets that are holding stablecoin on Solana. Forget about the detail, it's hard to read. But look at the chart itself and the curve of it. We started back in 2021, with a steady peak. What's interesting with stablecoin on Solana is actually it stays steady through bear market in 2022, in 2023. And then as expected, when stablecoin really got an interesting adoption at the beginning of 2024, you can see the hockey stick to where we are today, just a little bit north of 3 million wallets. Now, we all joke at Dune that, are those wallets with us in the room? Because, wallets are not really like people. But what's more interesting with this is that bot farms don't really hold stablecoin over time. They churn, they reset, they move on. So the starting point here is that there is an habit that's being formed when you look at on-chain data and on stablecoin and Solana. So let's dig into it. Now, in crypto, we have this really bad habit to look at volume, right? A lot of companies, they pound their chest and says, we process, X billion dollars. That's great. But when it comes to stablecoin, you really have to look through the lens of transaction counts. And once you do that, you find something really interesting. Out of a 5 billion transaction on Solana through stablecoin process in the last 2 years, you have a group that emerged. A group of about 1 billion, that's the 950 million that you see here. 1 billion transaction that hasn't been really talked about or labeled. It's kind of like identified. So let's take a look at that. This group, which by the way is 1 out of 3 transaction stablecoin on Solana, is doing transaction at an average of $4.57. $5. So what does it tell you? Well, we might not know a lot about those addresses, but we know it's not an institution because it's $5. The second things we know is it's not a bot. Why? Because it's not really a sophisticated DeFi strategy. It's not some sort of complex trading algorithm. These are people, my friends. These are people who are here today. These are consumers. Now, let's be honest with each other. Capital is still very much consolidated. You have right now on Solana about 150 wallets that holds about 10 billion worth of stablecoin. However, you still have about half of that, $5 billion, across a lot of wallets, right? That's 3.5 million wallets. So the question so much is like not about the concentration of that amount. It's more so you have an untapped potential with millions of people, in average, each holding about $1,600. They actually don't have an app. They don't have a reason to open and do something with that stablecoin every day. And this is what the message, and hopefully the story that probably no one talks about. It's either the biggest opportunity that no one is capitalizing on, or maybe it's an untold story that only me cares to talk about it. But you have millions of people that don't have an app where the dollar is actually the product, not a wrapper. That's 1 out of 3 Solana transactions on stablecoin. And I know there's some amazing builders. If you're looking for ideas or things to focus on, the data tells you that if you are interested in stablecoin and Solana, this is what you should focusing on. That is roughly $13 trillion. No one is talking about it, but the data tells you that the opportunity are there. Thank you again. If you want to talk about on-chain data, Solana, I'm here with the DIN team all week.
No, thank you.
It's interesting to see, one, like the concentration of wallets, but like more importantly is like how much of retail there actually is. Like how many real users. I feel like it's been often like overplayed, like, oh, like Solana has, it's mostly agents trading or mostly bots trading, but there's millions of real people with Solana wallets that are trading every day. Yeah. And now it's on us with our consumer apps to give them more to do with their stablecoins. All right, we are ready for Muli from Certora.
Hello, everybody. I was told I have to shout, hopefully not too much. So my name is Muli Sagiv. I'm a co-founder of Certora. Certora, and also passionate about formal verification, academic in computer science. Certora is securing the blockchain. We have worked extensively with Ethereum protocols like Aave, Lido, and others. Now we are working extensively with the Solana teams, Manifest, Squad, Jito, Camino, Exponent, many other, the Solana Foundation itself. We are securing all the chain. And of course today, this afternoon, I want to talk about bugs, but I want to actually show you a way that perhaps you can prevent these bugs. So this is, of course, something that we're all aware of, but I think it's pretty interesting. These data, take it with some grain of salt, but these are some of the bugs that we have seen. Of course, we all know about drift and things that happen, and these are actually very unique to Web3. So when Certora started in 2018, the biggest problem was smart contract, but it seems like now it's not necessarily the case. A lot of things are happening. We see in particular that private keys theft are really an important issue. We see that front-end is a big issue. We see that supply chain attack is a big issue. Dependency on external contract is a big chain, and even employing IT. And I think the issue, and that's actually what we are saying, is that even it's not necessarily the loss itself, it's the reputational damage. And we have seen that some protocol completely recover the money, and still we have seen that these things are happening. So what is changing recently is that what is changing recently is that the hackers are getting more and more sophisticated. Why are the hackers getting more sophisticated? They are getting more sophisticated because of LLMs. LLM actually help us, of course it helps us secure the code, but it also helps us break the code. It helps us sort of, some reason I don't have the slide, but the idea is that LLM can do a lot of good things for you, but LLM also can do a lot of good things for the hacker. Another issue that happens with the hackers have more incentive and they have more time to go. So what are we proposing in order to solve the problem? So we are proposing, and I think this is something in line with what others, we are proposing to have some kind of an onion, complete security, which is start from the beginning. And it starts from the beginning, and basically we want to help you, but you have to start on your own. And this is something that's important for the developer, and it's important for the consumer. This is how we want to start. So the core of this is the deployment in the development. Sorry, when you are developing the code, this is actually where we want you to be aware of it. And whether you are developing the on-chain code or off-chain code, we want you to develop. And what we are doing to help you, together with the LLM, we are actually finding formal specification for you. So we are finding requirement of the code, and this is a tool which will be available. We already released an open source for checking the code, but this is before even writing the code, we are finding requirement. And the idea is these are requirements that we can enforce when the code is right. After that, what we are proposing, and other teams are proposing, we are proposing to do design review and to write formal specification. And there we are releasing another tool, which will be available next month, which is the AI Prover. AI Prover is the tool which is available to check the properties of the code. So there, it's basically find out some corner cases. It's find out deviation between the formal specification and the code. And this is actually something that we think that will help us against the hackers, because of course the hackers will try, but once we have the specification and once we formally verify them, we can do that. The next step is to do testing, extensive testing and fuzzing, and many teams are providing things. We will provide our own tool, which is called AI FV Integrator. So that actually goes to the thing. And after that, after we finish all of that, you can go for auditing for firms like us. Basically what happened, we end up actually reviewing the code with the help of tools, with the help of humans, and they are reviewing the code, and basically they are producing a report. And the report should explain what was found, what are the properties which were verified, and this will increase the security. And of course, least but not last comes the deployment. The deployment is equally important. We have seen with the current hack that actually thinking about multi-sig wallet, thinking about monitoring, thinking about incident response, those are all the things that we want to do. So please come and meet us this week and help us secure this space together.
Muli, I got a quick question for you. Now, to use this, like this onion security, right, you need to build your protocol from the ground up in collaboration with you guys, or after a protocol is already built, like the team could work with you?
You don't need to work with us. It's good that you work with us, but you don't need to work with us. You can actually start with these tools. Of course, we help team, we design the code, but you can start. Our tools are open. We are putting a lot of things open, so yes, the idea is, yeah.
But you need to use those tools right from the onset as you're developing your protocol. You can't go back?
You can go back, we can go back, and our tool actually can go with the code, but the earlier the better. We have seen, like, for example, if you look into protocol that we work with our team for a long time, but you see and we work from V2, actually from V1, but you see the difference between V4 and V, because they work with us from the beginning. So when you work with us from the beginning, we help you in making the code simpler, and when the code is more amenable to formal verification, it's easier for humans, so we make the code easier for people. So you don't have to work with us, but if you work with us, so if you get our consulting at the beginning, it can lead to a simpler code and more secure code.
And is this specifically built with like Solana in mind, or is it more multi-chain?
So we started with the EVM, but now we are building it for the Solana. And we're building specifically for Solana. We did a great job with the Solana Foundation on the staking protocol, and we built it from the ground up for Solana and for different primitive on the Solana.
Any specific reason you've decided to come build on Solana now?
Yes, the fact that we have so many great clients. That's probably, and the fact that it's also very interesting, and the speed is right, and also we are Rust believers. And we are basically very strong part of our team is a Rust believer. We believe stuff, so we actually support the Solana bytecode format, and we actually don't even trust the compiler. We verify the low-level code.
How do you think about something like the excitement we're seeing from a security protocol like Claude Code Mythos and people who are normally not security engineers, like very much caring about this right now?
So I'm very excited and nervous about Mythos. I'm trying to get them, but it's very interesting for us at Satora because we love to see a case that we formally verify, and this guy found a bug. So we love to be in touch with them. I unfortunately, I'm not in direct contact with them, but I love to do them. We have started, we have run, we have our own tools for finding bugs, and we are trying to find them. And actually what's interesting, think about it, that we can show that some of the bugs that they are finding are not real. And also we can use them to find more, we can use the bug that they find to find more bugs. So yeah, Mythos is very exciting. All this domain is very exciting. With the right way, LLM, and we see that LLM, I always compare LLM to formal verification. So I think of LLM as a smart, basically like somebody that can predict the future. And formal verification is like a pedantic lawyer. So the ideas together, actually, we work very well together.
Fair enough. Thank you.
How about one more round of applause for Muli for bringing the energy today? Great job, Muli.
All right. Wrapping up? Okay, yeah. I think after this we got a break coming up, but I think before we do that, got special announcement coming through.
Yeah. Iman, are you ready to go?
It'll take a minute. I think they're still setting it up.
That's fine. We could chit chat.
Halfway there.
Halfway there. Yeah, we do have a break coming up after this, so special announcement, so do not leave yet. We'll have this announcement, and then you guys can take a quick break. Speaking of, I think I need to probably eat something at some point, right?
Fair. Can't have you passing out up here.
No. Not up here.
All right. Yeah. So welcoming Eamon to the stage, talking about the Solana Incubator Program. Sir, you have the floor.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Iman Motamedi. I head up the Solana Incubator Program within Solana Labs. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar, but some of you might be wondering, what is Solana Labs? What is the Solana Incubator? So Solana Labs built a lot of the original products and protocols of the Solana network, built the original validator client. But as the network has grown, as all these amazing developers have come into the ecosystem, we've asked ourselves, what's the best way to scale our knowledge, our expertise, our resources across the ecosystem and really help propel the next blue chip companies on Solana? And our answer to that question was the Solana Incubator Program, where we bring in 4 to 6 teams to our New York office for 3 months, and we work with them extremely hands-on with our team across the full bench of Solana Labs resources. And so what exactly does that mean in practice? As we think about prior cohorts we've had in the program, we're about to go into cohort 5, which is what this sort of presentation is promoting. But we were lucky enough in cohort 1 to have Sanctum. Cohort 2, we had Marinade. Cohort 3, Pi Finance. A lot of the major companies that you guys have seen and interacted with on Solana. And as we chat with these teams, I think there's 3 major benefits that teams see in kind of this experience, this program, and in the notion of building alongside Solana Labs. The first is having the full weight and resources of the Solana bench at your disposal. And so what that means typically is each week we sit down with a team at the beginning of the week to understand what are the biggest challenges they're facing. One team might say, hey, we're working through our user experience design. So we'll then get the head of marketing or the head of design at Solana Labs to sit down with the team. Maybe the next day they jump into their Figma, leave feedback on their designs. The third day, maybe we're going through the conversion funnel to understand how we can accelerate the progress of people converting into the app. Maybe another team that week says, hey, we're working through our go-to-market. What should we do on the marketing side? We'll bring in the head of marketing at Solana. We'll work with them on their marketing plan. Maybe we'll think through which Solana properties and which distribution channels are most beneficial for that team, and how can we work to actually execute on that marketing plan. Another team might be like, hey, we need an intro to this really pertinent person. Solana obviously has a really big Rolodex. How can we make that introduction happen? And so really this notion of build alongside Solana Labs, how do we customize the experience to each team based on what those teams are facing? And that's the reason why we keep the programs so small, 4 to 6 teams, such that whether it's a very early stage team that's getting started, or someone like Marinade that's much more established in the network, we're still able to come in and really support them despite the challenges they're facing. The second piece is what I kind of consider the traditional like Y Combinator experience, where we host 90 plus events throughout the duration of a cohort. And our goal is really how do we make you at the center, at the nexus of the Solana ecosystem. Prior to the cohort starting, we send out a survey to each team who's accepted asking if you could have your wish list of who you meet with throughout the course of the program, who would those folks be? How can we help you build one-on-one relationship with those folks? And we cater a lot of the programming to those people. Cohort 2, for example, we had a team asked to meet with Nikita Beer, and we were actually able to bring Nikita Beer in to meet with all of the teams. And so really putting you at the heart and the nexus of the ecosystem, meeting whoever would be beneficial to you. And then the third and final one that we hear a lot about from teams is just the notion of being in the office each and every day, working alongside some of the best founders in Solana, both within your cohort, where we've seen a bunch of teams partner with each other, bring about new products together, and just having Solana Foundation, Solana Labs, Onza one floor above, having the ecosystem floor with amazing teams one floor below, really being at the heart of the ecosystem, meeting all these folks, building one-to-one relationships. But really, I would say the core pillar is that build alongside Solana Labs, grow alongside Solana Labs, and have the full bench at your disposal. We are announcing Cohort 5, so I think we launched applications a week or two to Cohort 5. If it could be beneficial, feel free to check out solanaincubator.com to learn more. We're accepting applications until June 5th, and we're also prioritizing early applications for folks that get their application in early. We also offer a relocation stipend for folks to be there in person with us throughout the full 3 months. So don't worry about cost when considering the move. The cohort kicks off September, so this one will run from September to November, and we'll conclude with a demo day as we do each cohort. And then one of the things we're doing slightly differently this cohort as well, historically we've had some of the biggest companies on Solana apply to the program, and at times it's been a little tough to take teams that were so much further along than some of the other teams in the cohort. But this cohort, we're actually making some changes to be able to support 1 or 2 really major teams in the ecosystem and on the network as well. And so because of that, we tend to be very stage agnostic, vertical agnostic, and really what we're doing is trying to work with each of you to help build the future of Solana. So thank you very much for the time.
Hear, hear. I will say MoonPay is definitely a big fan of the Solana Incubator program. It's definitely where we signed some of our best partners over the years.
Awesome. All set?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
See you back in New York.
Awesome.
All right, we're going to jump into a 10-minute-ish break. So see you guys right around 3 o'clock to 3:05.
All right. Carry on. Thank you all. $15-minute break. 15.
ready to get started again?
Can you hear us in the back?
Thumbs up in the back if you can hear us, please. I didn't get any thumbs all the way back. I need at least a single thumbs up from the back. I got one.
We have a ton of empty chairs in the front. Promise Nikki doesn't bite. Much.
All right, let's get ready for Alex from Cherry.fun. Please give a round of applause, please, for our first speaker after the break.
Welcome, Alex.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex from Cherry.fun, the top-ranked social app on Solana Mobile. Before Cherry, I co-founded and exited another mobile startup. And today I want to talk to you about how crypto apps win on mobile. We launched Cherry on Seeker since day one, and since then we've become the #1 ranked application on Seeker, and we've achieved 3,000 daily active users. We've also launched 15 international Seeker communities, including English, Chinese, Spanish, and many others. And so that gives us a very unique perspective on what applications and what methods win and what methods don't work on mobile. We've also helped numerous teams on Solana Mobile to essentially understand how their users behave and what they think about their applications by analyzing user reviews. And Seeker today is about is over 800 applications with 400,000 reviews. And we've analyzed all of them, and I wanted to share some insights about them. So one of the most interesting cases I found was that games and DePIN categories are very, very different. So games are one of the most populous and one of the most big categories on Seeker, with over a third of applications on Seeker being games, and DePIN is the smallest one. However, the major contrast between these categories is that DePIN ranks exceptionally high on Seeker, whereas games, only about 30% of the games get ranking over 4 stars out of 5. And I wanted to look why. So the curious thing about that is that DePIN is essentially what they do is they bribe users to use the app daily. So users earn while doing stuff passively, for example, time sharing their CPU, or bandwidth, or maybe even sharing their GPS data. So that daily activity essentially drives retention, which helps this category win and kind of get more and more users. Games are a lot more brutal category. So as I said, only about a third of all games, get over 4 stars. And I think the lesson we can all learn is the first impression really matters when you're building an application, and games is the best illustration for that. So first open results whether your users are going to churn or return. And that includes the smoothness of the onboarding experience, the value that you can communicate to the users within the first few moments of using the app, as well as the longevity of the value. Like, how will I benefit from using this app on a daily basis? And this is a very kind of interesting insight. The other retention strategy is the communities. So it's all about, it's not about the product working to get users in or marketing users, making to get users in. It's more about people using your app actively getting other users in your application. So, Cherry is a good example of that. So we've managed to, since launched in Seeker, we managed to get 32% of day 30 retention, which is really high for the social category and even for many others applications. And users spend a meaningful amount of time on Cherry. What we're doing right now with this is we are looking to launch communities on Solflare, so they will be integrated right into the wallet to help communities trade their specific, based on their specific preferences. apart from communities, we are also focused on other things, like including like mini apps that allow you to game, trade right inside Cherry and connect with your community, as well as plug-and-play chat, which is essentially like a widget for third-party applications that will allow us to acquire more users and to provide value to developers outside Cherry. So just wanted to wrap it up with the simple conclusion. Most applications on mobile win through retention. It's all about providing the immediate value. It's all about giving the quick onboarding experience. And it's also about building the right community for your application to help recruit more users into it. Thank you so much.
Alex, thank you. So I think we started off by saying that Web3 gaming was dead, but I think you very clearly showed that that was some of the most activity that you guys see on the platform, full stop. So maybe it's not dead.
No, it seems that, especially in the consumer direction, like the best way to onboard more consumers to use those stable coins, right, is gaming. And not only that, I think it was said it's the second, like this betting gaming field is the second most used resource for Solana stablecoins now. So far from dead.
Yeah. Well, still going into our culture category, very excited to invite dear friend to the stage, Andrew Berkowitz, running comicbook.com. Tell us what's new.
All right, cool. All right, you guys are going to want to lock into this one because I have actually something super interesting and novel that I don't think the space has seen before. So I lead growth and innovation for Savage Ventures. We're a private equity portfolio of media companies. We own Vice, American Songwriter, and comicbook.com. And I'm here this week because we're launching something very interesting on Solana. So a little bit about us. We're the leading website covering geek editorial, superhero news, horror, science fiction, anime. We have a ton of podcasts and YouTube shows, do a lot of experiential. Every Comic-Con, we're there. Our audience is about 40 million mainstream users, and we're going to kind of navigate the challenge of rolling out a consumer crypto product that is usable for this audience, as well as crypto native enough where you all use it and like it. And that's actually really hard, which we'll get into today. I was going to start this talking about the Pokemon trade right now. You all know what's going on right now with Pokemon TCG. So I'd like to actually zoom out and suggest that that trade is actually a part of a larger thing that's happening called debasement. And that's reflected across a ton of hard assets right now. So, why comic books? Well, at the moment, there's a lot lower liquidity for graded comic books as an asset class. And so what that means is there's fragmented price discovery, which means opportunity. These assets, in my opinion, they're AI-proof, they're inflation-proof, and unlike gold, there's no precedent for the government confiscating your comic books. So as a lot of people in this room I know are very wealthy, where do you store wealth in a safe way? I don't know. I don't have the answer, but maybe it's comic books. So we're here today to launch the comicbook.com vending machine. We're partnered with a company in the space called CollectorCrypt, who's crushing it with Pokemon cards. But we'll be rolling out graded comic books into the machine as well. All the comic books are hand-picked by Comic Book's editorial team, who really know what they're doing, and we've sourced them from local comic shops across the country. The reason why our machine is novel and new and not just another Pokemon gacha, again, like we have relationships all across the country with local comic shops. We're able to get all sorts of really cool comic books, vintage toys, vintage video game cartridges, and we're really focused on curating our machine with all the assets that haven't hit their moment like Pokemon cards have, so we can help you all be early to different asset verticals that our team is an expert at. So in terms of our roadmap, we're launching the digital vending machine today. It's live right now at vending.comicbook.com. Don't eat into my time. So we're basically rolling this out exclusively to the Solana community at first for the first couple weeks. So right now you all have first look at the assets that are in there. crypto is much more forgiving about a beta phase than mainstream users, and so we're spending the next couple weeks rolling it out to you all. We'll also have a booth at Accelerate tomorrow. And that's really all I got. We're really excited to be partnering with the Solana Foundation and rolling this out. Looks like my slide didn't render properly. I have some insights to share, but it looks like the text isn't there. So I guess I'll just use my minute off the cuff. So the challenge of rolling this out is to roll something out to the crypto native community versus rolling something out to a mainstream audience that's just a comicbook.com reader. It's essentially speaking two different languages. And what we've found is that we're saying the same thing to each audience, but we use different words. With the Solana community, like you all know what an SBL token is, you all know what USDC is, you all know the terms, NFT on-chain provenance, but we can't communicate that way to our audience. I have all the examples of how we communicate to the audience on this slide, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. So I guess that's all I have for now. Thank you.
We can yap for a bit to make it up to you.
Yeah,
so are you telling me that any user in the world, if they go to like comicbook.com, literally that URL, they can use a gotcha machine to get graded comic books?
So it's hidden this week and next week just for you all to get first look at the machine. So you have to go direct to vending.comicbook.com. Again, we'll be at Solana Accelerate tomorrow with a booth. And the machine is just stocked full of graded comic books across Marvel, DC, Star Wars, a ton of really great assets that you're going to want to have in your wallet.
So the best place to get graded comic books is literally comicbook.com, powered by Solana and Collector Crypt.
That's right.
That's incredible.
You heard it here first from that guy.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, talk about like this is Consumer Day, and talk about like consumer forward thinking. I mean, seriously, Solana's lucky to have you. That's insane. I don't know how you guys got that URL, but that's massive.
We're happy to be here. That happened before my time.
So there's potentially 40 million comic book lovers that are about to become Solana users over the next few weeks?
That's correct. So when we roll this out to comicbook.com, like we're going to roll it out across all of our owned and operated channels, YouTube, comicbook.com, all the social handles. So there's about 40 million people that see that, and we report that every month. And if you follow those channels, you'll see the interesting ways at which we speak very differently to the comic book audience than we would speak to you all. Two different press releases, it's completely like separated, and that's kind of what we have to do, and one of the challenges of rolling this out.
I cannot wait to be one of your first users. I am absolutely psyched.
We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm going to check your wallet. I'm going to make sure you actually bought something.
All right, get out of here.
Thanks, everyone.
Give it up one more time. Let's bring to the stage, you got Nicholas from Metaplex.
Cool. Howdy, everyone. I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes talking about the rise of agentic capital markets. My name is Nicholas Strange, and I'm on the BD and partnerships team here at Metaplex. I've been on the team for about the last year and a half, but have been running around Solana and the greater Web3 ecosystem for about the last 5 years. In Q4 of 2024, we saw a massive spike in demand for anything that was AI on-chain, which is a narrative that us in Web3 do love. But it was highly speculative in nature, very memetic. There was no real utility, and any of the identity of these coins weren't tied to any real platforms or agents themselves that were doing things that were interesting or useful on-chain. The big takeaway here is, as there is massive demand for this like crypto AI narrative, it's just speculation is very brittle. So if we marry utility and identity with on-chain agents, then we have a durable asset class that people want to participate in as a consumer, invest in, as well as engage with. So I think that begs the question is, with this demand, like how do we meet this unmet demand? Is there even like the infrastructure available today to be able to meet this? And I think the biggest thing, as we've seen, is that agents are incredibly useful, But the big issue is that they're useful to one person, and that is the person who like spun up the Hermes or OpenClaw agent to automate their own workflows. These are still yet to be fully autonomous like enterprises or businesses that users are doing to either trade, to create content, or to code, right? But that gap has been closed quite a bit here in the last few months. As we can see on Solana, we've processed 47 million X402 transactions. And if you're not aware of what that is, just think of it as like the agent payment protocol. We've also started to kick some ass, 70% peak market share amongst other chains, and are currently number 2 behind Base. But it still begs the question, and the issue is that, okay, as a consumer, I want to use a useful agent to trade. I want to use a polymarket agent. I want to use a trading agent. I want to use an agent to automate my Twitter strategy. Where do I go to do that? And that now leads me to introduce the new Metaplex.com. So as you guys may know, Metaplex has been like an open source developer platform and ecosystem that allowed creators and developers to manage and distribute digital assets for the last 5 years on Solana. All of that exists on Metaplex.Foundation now, and the new Metaplex.com is really exciting. We are serving to be the canonical hub for internet capital markets, which of course includes agentic capital markets, where investors, consumers, retail, funds, etc., can find and discover interesting asset classes, invest in those asset classes, as well as trade. And on the flip side of that, all of the tools that have existed in the Metaplex program library for the last 5 years, as well as some new and exciting ones, exist for you as a creator or consumer to be able to tokenize your project, do a fair launch ICO, create an agent, or launch an agent token to turn that agent into a liquid and tradable asset. Where Metaplex fits into this agent stack is really in 3 different ways. And I think the most exciting thing for consumers is on the registry side of the house for the identity. So now you can travel to metaplex.com/agents. We currently have almost 1,000 agents in there that you can find and discover that are doing interesting things on chain, doing useful things on chain. And kind of those are like 3 categories in there. They're trading agents, they're content agents, and there's coding agents. But now you don't know, you need to know where, or you know where to find the useful agents. The second piece is on the economic rails. So you have the ability, once your agent becomes useful or interesting and gets to that point of being an autonomous enterprise, to actually tokenize it, turn it into a liquid tradable asset, and allow the community or users that do participate in that to own a bit of the upside of it. And soon, which I think the most exciting piece of this stack that we have coming is on the creation side. So currently, as it stands today, you have a number of different challenges. You kind of have to be somewhat sophisticated to spin up an OpenClaw or like Hermes agent. But now you'll be able to transfer or travel to metaplex.com and choose from a preset build of templates, whether that be trading, coding, or content, and kind of get a kickstart on that, or Frankenstein all of your own components to be able to create useful agents. And we are also seeding this kind of flywheel with a fun campaign right now for agent creators to tokenize useful agents on metaplex.com, as well as the token traders to earn some rewards in this. That's it. Looks like I got 30 seconds left, but I'm Nicholas. Hit me up if you guys are building agents, agent infrastructure, or a consumer wanting to participate of the upside of AI in Solana.
So, first off, very cool to see the changeover. I feel like everyone in this room has known Metaplex for powering some of their favorite NFT-based projects. It's not wild to me that all of those products are now rearing their head again. Are we going to see like a Metaplex harness at some point?
Yeah, I think so. Like ultimately, we just want to I think the tagline is consumerize the OpenClaw experience. So that way you can come to metaplex.com, you can host it on metaplex.com, and you can create any sort of agent that you want to that you find useful or interesting.
So you guys are going to do the hosting too? Maybe.
We're building the ship as we're flying it. I feel like everybody in the agent stack, but I think the biggest thing for us is to get upstream rather than rely on third parties for quality inventory. We got to create the quality inventory ourselves, or allow people to do so.
Fantastic. Very cool.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
All right. Moving on next. We're looking for... Good? Sweet. Star team. Yeah. All good. Awesome. All right. Next up, going to welcome Adam from Star to the stage.
Story.
Good to see you, man. Welcome back.
I'd like to share a brief origin story. We're the first to raise on the platform we built. No motion, no backing, just a dream and a live stream. We raised $500K in 24 hours. Then, we turned it into a show. The Shark. Solana's first live on-chain Shark Tank. Real founders pitching real experts and are live, unscripted and live. 1.1 million raised. So we built something that never stops. Now, the markets decide. Every week, one founder funded live on the internet. For the underestimated, the undiscovered, the ones building when no one's watching. No pedigree, no warm intro, no waiting, just conviction. If you're fast enough, if you're good enough, don't wait.
All right. Is this visible? Mic check, 1, 2. Yeah, you can hear me? So that video wasn't visible to the audience, but we were building a live streamed fundraising platform. It was only visible to you guys. They had the...
It was a great video.
Yeah. Tell them about it. Our vision is to help early stage founders raise capital on the internet, pre-VC, pre-YC, and we were the first ones to raise on our platform. We raised $500K in 24 hours, and I'm going to tell you today a bit about the consumer insights that I've learned from building this. So what we're obsessing over is helping founders raise 10x faster with 10x more eyeballs. And we've seen that through Bedrock Foundation, which is an entity that powers startups to fractionalize part of their cap table and raise on-chain, we can launch equity-backed tokens with built-in rights and protections. We're also trying to make the implicit social signals in fundraising surfaceable through live chat, live video, and live buy interactions. And finally, we realize that we have to focus on servicing companies that aren't currently being addressed by the capital stack. And we're calling this internet rounds. So here's a demo. Oh. Demo's not working. Oh. Can you guys see this? Oh, sick. Okay. So here's a team, Joey and Arhan. They raised this Wednesday. They were raising for a product as part of a bigger product studio. They sold 25% of their cap table on-chain on Star for $15K, which enables them to double down on the UGC campaign and scale. Joey and Arhan are not your typical crypto founders. They work part-time for Cluely, they have worked for GitHub, and they've worked for Polymarket. And we've seen that through the backwards compatibility of equity-powered tokens, they're actually attracted to the model of raising funding on-chain and are able to get value out of it. So another use case, Surfcash. This is a crypto-native company, stablecoin neobank. They raised $450K. During the ICO, they 15x their wait list from 1,000 to 15,000 users, and they're currently at 3,000 monthly active users and growing 30% month over month. So there's a real tangible benefit to fundraising through a tokenized instrument. Finally, the insights, and I touched on this briefly. So tokens can work for non-crypto native startups too. By linking or offering the ability to link equity to a token, it makes sense for them to basically raise their very first round pre-seed on-chain. Second, live media. You're familiar with Whatnot. Conversion rates on Whatnot are 4 to 15 times higher than static e-commerce pages. We're seeing that live media builds trust and engages, and most of all, it converts. And finally, I've said this a bunch of times, but I will say it one more time. We're designing to complement venture and not replace it. And by doing so, I believe we can bring every startup and every investor on-chain. We're hosting a live fundraising show on May 18th. We'll have 3 startups raising between $250 and $500K, and you can RSVP through the link right here. Thank you.
Fantastic. How often do you guys run the Shark Tank?
Every Monday.
Every Monday?
Yeah.
And is it crowdsourced, the funds?
Yeah.
And is it through like a stablecoin platform, or is it through like a token raise?
It's a token raise, and they're raising USDC.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
but you swap out that, like you're buying a token though when you are doing the raise.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
You asked this before. Does the window close when the stream is over?
No, the window is open while the stream's live.
But when the stream ends, is that?
Oh, the stream is the start of the fundraise, and then it goes on for 5 days.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you view this as like a different way to raise? Like if you're looking to sort of go against the grain, or you think this is going to be more like established as like the best way to raise?
Well, this is what I was saying. I don't think it's an alternative. I think it's the precursor to raising a pre-seed. And so by enabling founders to raise like up to 500K, they can get like their first base of users and their first check-in, and then they can go on to raise venture by basically selling equity. So it's compatible.
So that Bedrock Foundation instrument that they made, still pretty new, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys getting interesting feedback from the venture investors on the other side?
Well, yeah, because they're able to invest in a company that's already capitalized, they already have distribution, and they're able to just invest in an equity instrument. Opposed to like having to onboard stables and buy a liquid token off the market, they can just invest how they used to. And it's compatible with BVI entities, C Corps, like you name it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's epic, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Sweet. One more round of applause, please. All right, we are up with Jody and Nicholas from the Tapestry and Zoomy teams.
Hello.
Do we start?
All good?
Okay. Testing? Yeah.
Testing.
Texting?
We're good? Perfect. Thank you.
Do we go ahead? Oh, okay.
Okay, perfect.
Great. Hi, everyone. So excited to be back on the Consumer Day stage again. Today, we're here to share what we believe is the most interesting things happening at the intersection of crypto and social AI right now. That is the social network for companions. And we're starting with Zoomy, which is an AI companion that Gen Z trusts. We've been building this for a few months now, and we just crossed 160,000 users, and we grown 52x in the first 90 days, and we're now at 4.8 star rating in the App Store. There's the QR code. Feel free to check it out. And yeah, excited to be here. Our thesis is that AI companions and assistant will eventually merge. Like every generation gets a new consumer interface. The generation before us, there is like browser, and then there's like the age of internet. Then you put in a feed. There's the whole social network. And today, with the proliferation of AI, there's so many different use cases. We believe that the winner of that category will own both the consumer interface and the rails underneath. We have already built on these rails. That's Tapestry as the protocol, and Zoomy is built on top of it.
So Zoomy started as a personal AI companion that you could chat, you could call anytime, but we are super excited because we just launched our most exciting update, where it became a character living in its own world. The Zoomy moves, meets, interacts, and generates daily story 100% autonomously. This turns companionship into an AI-native social, built on top of Tapestry's social graph protocol, which saves everything on top of the Solana network. We're building an agentic social network. So it started as a personal companion, and right now they're interacting with each other, and they generate stories 100% autonomous with no human interaction. So the user follows them, and eventually an economy forms. So you have games, goods, and transactions. So basically the world runs by itself, and then the users just show up and interact on top of it. And one of the hardest things in crypto right now is reaching the real Gen Z consumers. So we intentionally broke out of the echo chambers and went all in on Tech Talk. So the numbers are a little bit outdated, but we have basically 12 Zoomy creators that post around 350 videos per month. And their hook is the emotional companion. That has gotten us many millions of views. And the main thing is that users, they don't know they're being onboarded on a crypto app. They just download it and it becomes their bestie. They spend nearly 70 minutes per day talking to their bestie. And the main two things that drive the engagement are that they form an attachment through conversation, and the AI-generated video stories become a form of entertainment.
And I think this is where it gets interesting for brands. In a way, Zoomies are an autonomous influencers. When a user, so every day they log into the app, there is a daily gift that they open from a loot box, and it's a hat. So it could be, for example, a Raposa hat that they got on that day, and they think it's so cute. They maybe have heard of it, have not, and they dress their Zoomie because they wanted their AI bestie to wrap it. And these digital goods, they move through the living world. They're being traded, they're being worn, and being featured in these like AI-generated stories, and they're honestly quite fun to watch. So I would say most brand partnerships, they live inside just like a banner or a sponsor post, but with Zoomie, your brand can live inside a living world. And we have already onboarded a handful of Solana ecosystem brands. We have Meteora, we have Solana Spaces, we have Moonwalk. A lot of these like really cool partners, we have given them a way to reach 160,000 Gen Z user who would have never seen them, only on crypto Twitter. And we would love to work with more teams in this room today. So, okay, this also brings me to the bigger point. I think what's really interesting is AI is being used for a lot of productivities, but not so much for creativities. And AI is enabling an entirely new form of like consumer experience, but the only things we've gotten so far is like a ton of like AI avatar TikToks or just more content clipping. But we believe social AI is sitting on one of the most engaged, trusted, and under-monetized audience in consumer tech. And we wanted to be the one to figure out companion-based consumer marketing. So very excited for you to hatch your Zoomie and connect with me if you want to get your brand into our app.
Fantastic. So is this on Tapestry protocol?
Yes.
Yeah.
But still compatible with Solana?
So yeah, every interaction is stored on our protocol.
Fully compatible. Everything gets stored in your wallet, every trade, everything gets, we're also working on minting and everything, but everything is fully compatible with Solana and with our partners Dynamic, which basically do the login.
Got it. Okay.
So the assets moving on chain are like the accessories, and then what else?
Right now, we're just starting with digital goods, like all of our branded merch or just typical cute merch that we generated for the app.
Yeah. And that's what's moving on chain as of right now.
Yes, as of today.
That's incredible, guys. I mean, like this is what it looks like, to reach out to like the consumer, the UGC content, like this is us getting outside of our normal like Solana and crypto bubble. So this is like a massive net positive for the ecosystem. Really appreciate what you guys are working on.
I mean, how close is this to something like Zocomputer or some of the like one-click deployed harnesses where they're really doing it for you and you don't know that you're speaking to like a real Claude Code-esque thing on the back end? Does it go that far, like into the shell, or more like a call and response?
Right now, it's still a companion that knows you. It doesn't have the agentic ability yet, but because every companion is also a wallet, so it can be turned on. But right now we are focusing on just user growth, making sure people actually like it before we make this app super complicated. Because right now people love coming to it, sharing their daily stress, and then form that relationship. And then they're starting to grow, like, okay, this is so cool. Then other companions are also within this app. They're interacting, and there's like stories being formed.
So every companion is a wallet in the back end.
Yeah.
You're saying
exactly.
And they're all like every single one. So you have a wallet address and everything.
Yeah.
And then each one of those is technically a new active wallet and user for the chain.
Yeah, and fully transparent. They don't know, but everything is going beneath them. So.
That's massive, guys. Yeah, talk about a great way to more wallets, more users, more transactions. Incredible.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. And then next, going to invite Mabel up to the stage. Take a look at trends.
All right. Trying to see. So do I see it from here? Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. Can you hear it? Yeah. Awesome. Great being here. My name is Mabel. I'm the co-founder of Trends. So what Trends started off was really allowing people to tokenize Twitter. But over time, we found actually something more interesting, which I will share in this presentation, which is an insight actually that we built over the past 6 months or so. That is, vibe coding is content. And basically all these hackathons are a traffic campaign in a way. So what we now do is actually we provide a tokenizing layer, tokenizing protocol for people to really have asset generated for any vibe coded project that they got out from Claude Code, from Codex 5.5, whatever. And I think one of the key kind of aspect that people notice is that people obviously they vibe code all these games, all these interesting mechanism, so on and so forth. But it's really, really hard for people to monetize. I mean, yeah, from last cycle, a lot of people talk about how you offer all of these tokens, for example, Zora, right? You help creator monetize. But at the end, who are the creator? It's everybody who are vibe coding every day. And then you have some form of projects or product published on Twitter or on some of the other things. So we thought that actually the tokenizing layer will be an interesting way for people to potentially monetize the traffic that they can generate from the vibe coding process and the end product. So we offer this new module from Trends, which is also our key product right now, called IAO, Initial Agent Offering. So how it works is very simple. Basically, you would, not sure if any of you have heard about Surf, which is a AI company that, well, technically they started from crypto, but then they offer a lot of data cleaning, whatever. That's basically becoming the best AI layer for people to do all these different crypto research or insights and whatnot. So with them, what we did was we partner with their Surf studio, and people would vibe code stuff that's somehow related to crypto, or maybe even just using agentic payment at the very least. People would publish all these projects from Surf Studio, and they can also publish that through our platform of the IAO. And then our agent, not our agent technically, it's everybody's agent. You can just browse through whatever that's been published on the platform. And then it was not humans, but the agent that are picking the asset to be generated, the tokens. And what's interesting, obviously, is that I think people all realize that just the text content is no longer interesting. What people are interacting day to day on all these social medias are essentially all sorts of these vibe coding content. People are doing all sort of games and all sort of experiences and social experience and whatnot. And so as consumers, you're essentially almost going into a Oasis kind of experience in the Ready Player One. So then I think very, very clearly the insight that I mentioned at the very beginning, which is vibe coding is content, and hackathons are the traffic campaign is really becoming reality, and how people can monetize from all these things are actually not from people's subscription money or anything, but rather they're monetizing their traffic. So I'll give two cases from IAO module to kind of showcase. So one, actually they recently launched a token. Technically not they, but the agent launched a token and they adopted it. And what they do is they have this physical glasses where people can wear it, kind of like the meta glasses. You can collect all the things that you're seeing, and then you can mine the token. They call it proof of sight. Essentially, it's how it works. People stake the NFT towards that the glasses, and then you can monetize from the data. Very classic kind of DePIN narrative, except that it's not raised any VC money. And then the token is also not launched by them. It's actually through these agents on top of Trends platform. The other one, TPEG, actually this one comes out 24 hours ago. So what they do is also very interesting. How you mint the NFT is actually not through actual minting, but rather you are trading this token. And then as long as your trading record qualifies, then your wallet will automatically mint the the NFT, and later on when you sell it, the token, the NFT will automatically burn based on the trading record. So all of these are interesting cases where people launch the project itself, and then someone else, the agent, will pick the project and then launch the token for you. And obviously all these projects, they will be eligible for the creator fees, just like many of the other launchpad you would probably have heard of. So I think what's interesting here is that instead of like you going around and trying to find all these projects to launch token for, your agent can actually install the trend skills with either your Hermes or maybe your OpenClaw, whatsoever, the wrapped agent, or all of them works. And then like it would just go around and be on trends and then look for all these projects that are being submitted here. So then basically we have the supply side from all these different hackathons that people submit, and then we have the demand side, which is like the agent that are launching token and people are trading. So I think that's what we will actually call internet capital markets. And thank you. This is my presentation.
Fantastic.
Are we done here?
So this is like at its core with internet capital markets. It is a token NFT launching platform.
It's just token.
It's just token?
Yeah, it's just token. Like what I just mentioned earlier was that project's own mechanism.
Got it. And what would you view specifically as like the edge that Trends has over anywhere else where you would launch a token?
Launching a token right now, you can use like I said, you can install the Trends skills. So like your agent can launch a token based on all these projects being submitted. Yeah.
So is it possible for like an agent to come on a project and be like, I really like this one, I want to rip a token for it?
That's basically what it is.
Without like the developer saying like, yes, you can launch a token for it?
Well, it depends on, I see what you're saying, So I think first off, the developer have to install the skills first, right? If you don't install the skill, obviously it won't, but then you can give it full like automation if you don't want to give any specific instruction. Then the agent can just pick themselves.
Awesome, incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, before we get started on the next one, just a little reminder to everyone in the back. We can very much hear you in the front. Just try to keep it to a whisper if you can. I know that a lot of you are seeing each other only once every few months, so I get wanting to yap. I'd be the same way, but just try to keep it a little bit to a whisper. It's carrying all the way to the front. We want to make sure that the speakers can hear themselves. Up next, we have Graham Ferguson from Securities. Welcome.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. I have a lot of slides, so this is kind of going to be a lightning round in 5 minutes. But we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is tokenized equities on Solana. Like I said, yeah, name's Graham Ferguson, head of ecosystem at Securities. A bit of a background on us, if you're not familiar. We are the largest player in tokenization. We've tokenized about $4 billion in issuances. You might know us from our work with BlackRock, with Apollo, Hamilton Lane, a few other big names. We've tokenized all sorts of things. But we also really like to tokenize where things are going up and to the right. And so Solana is where that's happening right now with RWAs. A lot of the folks in this room are responsible for this trajectory, which we're super excited about. And we're very excited to continue to bring high quality, trusted, tokenized products to Solana. So 2 things I want to highlight. You may have seen these recently in the news, but we announced 2 major partnerships over the last month. First one I'll highlight is with ComputerShare. So ComputerShare is the largest transfer agent. A transfer agent is just a book that says this person owns this security, another person owns another, they maintain that. But ComputerShare is the largest TA. They have over 25,000 clients globally, including 10,000 publicly traded companies in the United States. And so what this means is that their clients are now going to have the ability to tokenize their equities on chain. The other one I want to highlight is the New York Stock Exchange, the largest exchange by a wide margin globally, and they announced a while back that they're putting together an ATS, an alternative trading solution or system to be able to facilitate 24/7 stock trading of tokenized assets. And so we're their design partner. We're going to be their digital transfer agent. We're super excited about that. And these are really going to have a significant impact on the way that equities are tokenized going forward. So in order to understand tokenized equities, you need to understand the 3 models that there are today. The one that is probably the most popular today in crypto is the wrapper/SPV model, right? So it gives individuals synthetic exposure to the underlying asset. A receipt token is issued. It's oftentimes traded permissionlessly or with some permissions. Then there's the DTCC model, where the DTC actually maintains custody of your asset. And I think you can probably see where I'm going here. We're very biased toward native issuer-led tokenization because you are actually the owner of the asset. The token is the security, right? So ownership, compliance, settlement, all of these things are actually baked into the token standard itself. Like I said, token is not a wrapper in the native model. It's not a receipt, not a synthetic claim. Everything's embedded into the asset itself. And we really believe, in line with DeFi and what DeFi stands for, ownership is really important. And so being able to hold custody of the particular underlying is very important, and that's one reason why we're really excited about the native model. One other piece of news I want to highlight that kind of went under the radar, I feel like, over the last few weeks, came out on April 13th. It was a letter from the SEC, which until recently, integrating stock trading into third-party interfaces came with some regulatory risk and uncertainty, but now so long as the rules, these three rules are followed, self-custody, pulling data from on-chain, and then also routing via a regulated execution layer, as long as these are followed, front ends can list tokenized securities. So what does this mean? All front ends are welcome. So if you're an aggregator, if you're a wallet, if you're an exchange, come find me, talk to me. This is actually a massive breakthrough, we feel like, on the regulatory side of things to be able to allow for trading of tokenized securities. So I put this, let's see how we are in time. Not too bad. I put this on every deck that I present because I think it's important, but if you're a protocol, an asset issuer, a stablecoin investor, interested in learning about any of our products, what we're working on, and also how we're at the forefront of tokenizing securities and specifically equities and bringing them on chain to Solana, please come find me. That's it.
Fantastic.
Not too bad.
So, we are here talking about consumer DeFi, right? I thought it was fantastic what you guys did with the Uniswap X guys, right? We are bringing what is a lovely consumer experience that no one in TradFi could go and touch with like a 10-foot pole until you guys all came together to go launch that. So now that all these different trading desks, they get the same awesome consumer experience that are lovely DeFi traders now.
Exactly, and I think for us, I do think it's important to realize too, we're working with a lot of institutional products and a lot of red tape and Computershare, NYSE, BlackRock. I mean, these are major institutions that are embracing crypto for the first time. And like you said, I mean, we want to give these high quality products to consumers and package them up in a way that's easy for them to use. So I can't get into it today, but we are going to be announcing something pretty big later this week, Solana ecosystem. So stay tuned for what that looks like.
We're here for it. Thank you, Graham.
Thank you.
RWA's X stocks definitely heating up.
Yeah, I think we've all started to see this RWA meta that's been coming out now. It feels like a really healthy meta, which is like my favorite part about it. It's not going to be like as crazy as like an up and then like a fall off. It seems to have already had a lot of staying power, and there's unlimited real world assets, right, that continue to come on chain. And Securitize has been around for quite some time.
Do you remember the original security tokens back in like 2018? This feels very different from that, and I'm here for it.
Is there a story to tell there?
Well, no, because none of the projects we would mention are still alive today. Okay, keep going. Well, thank you to Securities for actually making it real. All right, with that, I think we're going to move over to Jan from Reap. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Jan. Nice to meet you all. I lead the expansion of Reap in the Americas. And today I'll be talking to you about how we make on-chain capital work in an off-chain world. So I would assume most here probably travel to Miami from somewhere else. So that means expenses to pay. That means a coffee here, a lunch there, unless you only eat conference food. Probably you paid that with fiat, right? Unfortunately. And if we look at how you manage your business, I wonder how many here have to still pay their invoices in fiat as well. think about GitHub, yeah, cloud, right? So still a lot of payments that we need to do in fiat, even though we all push for crypto adoption. And this can become quite a hassle, especially when you have most of your treasury in digital assets. And for most of the projects that we've talked to hundreds of projects since we launched a few years ago. We see the same problems reoccurring, that you have to off-ramp to a personal bank account so that you can use a credit card which is also on your personal name. That includes different fees, right? Big hassle also in terms of time and management. But if you have a finance team, they are also annoyed to track your expenses. And that is a hassle that doesn't really exist if you would be a Web 2 business. There's a lot of tools to manage that in Web 2, but for businesses like yours, often that doesn't exist. And that might not seem like such big of a hassle if you're still a small project, but once you go global, managing your finances efficiently becomes very relevant, especially as there's more and more finance people involved, bigger hassles, bigger time spent on things that are quite frankly annoying when you could just be focusing on building. And that's where Reap Direct comes in. So we've built an all-in-one global business account for Web3 businesses where you can do payments both locally and cross-border in many different currencies, all funded in stables. We also have corporate Visa cards that you can use to do your expenses, all funded with stables. So you can settle it, for example, in Solana one-to-one without any fees. And we also offer an expense and treasury management tool to make it really easy for you to track these expenses and not have to have that back and forth with your finance team. Now, something interesting there as well is if you, in your project, want to offer your own card program or your own payouts for your customers, we can offer you that as well with an easy API. But back to the Reap Direct offering, apart from the standard products that I've mentioned, we're now also starting to offer you additional capital that you can borrow against your staked Solana. We're offering you yield as well, yield products, and of course always trying to also give you more insights with our AI features that we're offering at Reap. But I think the most interesting thing here is really the free money that you can get right now, because we just recently launched a great deal with the Super Team Black. You can now get $3,000 in rewards on expenses that you're doing anyways, like traveling, subscriptions for SaaS, and so on. Just go to reap.global/superteamblack, and you can start getting those extra $3. And otherwise, if you're interested in our API products, feel free to reach out to me either on Telegram or find me here across the conference. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. On-chain operations, definitely a difficult thing for almost all the partners that we work with. I don't know, I feel like everyone who's also building something on the consumer side in this room also deeply cares about stables. Probably a pretty decent segue into our friends on stage at Solflare. Callahan, welcome, sir.
Thanks so much. Mic test. All good, right? All great, yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, well, thank you for having me. My name is Tim Callahan from Solflare, and I'm the head of the global key accounts, basically trying to bring more higher level approach to our basically power users and people who are considered our high value users. So yeah, this is the, okay, this is a bit a broken slide, but basically like the across all industries, what we saw is that like 15 to 20% of users are actually generating around 80% of volume or revenue when it comes to IT companies, gaming, betting, and so on and so on. And we can definitely see that being also translated into crypto, but on a more severe level, where I would say that even from 1 to 5% of top value users are actually generating most of the revenue for crypto projects. And one of the best examples is Hyperliquid, that is basically a public data, that from March 2026, like 100 of their 100 top addresses were accountable for more than 81% of their revenue, or basically of their volume. And this is, what I said, it's a problem, but also an opportunity, that we saw a gap there in terms of how we approach these users and how can we offer them something different that they're not being offered at this stage. So, as I said, very few are paying attention to these users, and very few are understanding that most of their revenue is actually coming from these top value users or power users who are, in the end of the day, generating the revenue. And why is this happening, and what these users actually want? This is me talking from my personal experience, being six years now in the ecosystem, but also a year and a half at Solflare. The first one being influence. So basically, high-value users want to be heard. Like, they want to be a part of your ecosystem, they want to be a part of your small, tight-knit community, and they want that their insight and feedback is then a part of decision-making process for a product like Solflare, for a product like any other high-influential product on Solana. So basically, if you include them into decision-making process, then they can actually feel that their influence matters and that the features and products are being produced or created according to their needs. The second thing is trust, obviously. I love this quote, there is no insight in a closed book. So if we, as a company, stay transparent and open for communication with these kind of users, then I think that they will also gain trust and secondary loyalty towards us as I said, as a high-value crypto company, which then obviously translates into having more of these high-value users in our database. And the third part is obviously access. Like, power users don't want support queues; they want direct access to a single point of contact. Is in this case myself, but also to our C-level, also to our product managers and so on. And basically, they want their problems or issues be addressed as soon as possible in terms of them feeling appreciated and for them feel, I like to call it, special. So basically, if we can offer them these three things, then I think that not only we, but all projects on Solana, then I think that you could definitely have a loyalty program, let's call it that way, for high influential users or high quality users, because they are, as I said in the beginning, responsible for most of your impact that you are making on the market. And this is not me saying that all of the other users don't matter. Obviously, they do matter. But as I said, the majority of your revenue, of your volume, with Hyperliquid being a very good example of that, is coming actually for this top 1% or 2, 3, 4% of users. And yeah, as I said, this is also me stepping into a new role here at Solflare as a head of global key accounts, which I think that is a great opportunity for us also to tackle this opportunity in terms of engaging with these users and keeping them feel appreciated and special. So that's it. If you have these kind of relationships, settle down and then combine with product and product output, then you basically have a winning product and winning situation. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look, you always run into examples where, like, the Pareto principle, right, 80-20 comes through. But yeah. I think it's always been true that you find your best customers, then they become like an integral part of your product roadmap. Yeah. But if you're not asking them what they want or what they need help with, you're never going to find out.
Exactly. And this is, as I said, something that we definitely saw in the past 6 months, that there's a huge gap there, like listening to these users, trying to understand what they want, especially in a market like this, and then basically just build on that and offer them the approach that we think that they do deserve, especially as being a top users from Solana.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
You. Oh, and Tin, I got to say, yeah. As many of us know, I had 50-something meetings with builders over this past week. And I kept using Solflare as one of, like, the most famous examples where it's like, do one thing incredibly well, right? And then you can build more features after that. And Solflare is like the perfect example, is you got that product market fit, you did one thing incredibly well, and now you talk to your power users and they build more features that they're asking for. I think it's a master class in how to launch and get that PMF. So congratulations to everything you guys are doing at Solflare.
Thanks so much.
Solana loves Solflare.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we ready for Daniel Cardelin over from the Sphere team?
What's going on, everyone? How we doing? My name is Dan Cardelin. I lead sales over at Sphere Labs. And Sphere Labs is broken out into two separate functions. We have Sphere Pay, which is our cross-border payments API, fully focused on building infrastructure for businesses, businesses building for consumers, to be able to have access to USD and other fiat currencies. The other side is SphereNet. There we're more focused on building an L1 that is payments focused, bringing compliance, things like KYT, KYB, KYC on-chain, bringing privacy on-chain, and essentially making a marketplace for FX transactions globally. We've been around for a bit. We actually started off a Solana hackathon. We won first place to build the Stripe for crypto. Luckily, we've pivoted since then because Stripe did the Stripe for crypto. So we're moving on from that and focusing on Sphere Pay and SphereNet. But that pivot to offer more infrastructure has really helped us land some of the biggest logos in the Web3 space, and now voting more into the Web2 space, and really helping bring USD access to emerging markets, which is where we're really, really trying to focus in on over the next year. What do we do? So we're really behind the scenes. You may use apps today that you probably will never know use Sphere as that underlying engine, that underlying infrastructure to do things like wire transfers, ACHs from to a beneficiary or the person that's sending the payment, but we're not seen. Our whole thing is we want to give you the rails that we've spent a long time building so that you can go out and do the thing for your customer, which is the customer experience standpoint. We just give you that underlying infrastructure so you can go to the next level with your product offering. We're really taking advantage here of stablecoins and the interoperability that stablecoins offer cross-border payments and other use cases. Traditionally, let's say you're in Brazil and you want to send money to Europe, you probably have to do a two FX going from local currency BRL to US dollars and then to euros. Time passes during those FX conversions. Some folks will take some money out of the top during those conversions, and overall you're left waiting for your funds to hit the other side. You lose interest, you lose time. A lot of things get lost in the transfer of those funds. With Sphere, we take all of that out, we abstract away a lot of the underlying blockchain things that Sphere is doing, and your customers do fiat in, fiat out in the other side of the world, typically in less than a day, depending on how exotic we're getting with the fiat currencies. But that's what our whole MO is. A couple of good stats here, but overall, more of what I just said. And that's really what we're bringing to the market, is allowing our end customer to service their end customer, not having to go through the traditional correspondent bank, which can be slow, can be frothy in terms of fees, and really a lot more regulatory exposure, FX exposure. With Sphere, you're really integrating an API, and we take care of all of that hard work. We get the licenses locally, we get the bank partnerships locally, and we put it all into one nice single API where you can then build, you can integrate it and build those beautiful consumer and product front ends or features that are really attractive to the consumer market. We are focused on that B, the middle B of the B2B2C, B2B2B model. And the market that we're focusing in, LATAM, really needs dollar access. A lot of our current customers are building remittance apps. They're building e-commerce marketplaces. They're building more treasury management, store of value accounts for their customers. And all that matters because of USD access. USD access is really hard in emerging markets, especially if you don't have good correspondent banking relationships. If you don't know what correspondent banking relationships are, find me after. We can talk a little bit through that if you're really, really bored. But that allows us to then go and give PSPs, marketplaces, payroll companies an easier way to go for their end customer to receive dollars, to receive euros, to receive other currencies that pay out more, and then be able to pay out in either stablecoin or pay out in the local fiat currency like BRL, MXN, so on and so forth. Another use case here that we're working on more and more now is neobanks and wallets, really being able to give that US dollar balance experience, even if US dollars aren't present, so that more people can have more control over their money and not have to be constantly exposed to various different FX risks across the globe. That's us in a nutshell. I hit 5 minutes on the dot. Wow, that's amazing. If you guys want to learn more about us, there's my LinkedIn. There you can go to the SpherePay website, and also learn more about SphereNet. Thank you.
Dan, thank you. What are you guys starting to see get used more, SpherePay versus SphereNet?
It's SpherePay fully right now. That's, SphereNet is in design mode. We're working with various design partners to get the initial tranche off the ground. But SpherePay is where we're seeing the most adoption. That's where you can really feel the difference today, given going from fiat in to fiat out on the other side and using stable coins. That's where the actual fit lies today. SphereNet is more forward-thinking, like bringing things fully on-chain. There's a bit of a knowledge gap that still serves there.
Do you guys have like a most popular corridor? Is it like LATAM to US or vice versa?
Yeah. Right now we're seeing LATAM to the US. It's massive. What we're seeing more of now, though, is specifically Latin America to the Middle East and Latin America to Asia.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Next is Denny. All right. Now we're going to invite Denny from Squats up.
Hi everyone, my name is Denny. I'm co-founder and CPO at Squats. You know our products through Squats Multisig, which secures $10 billion of assets on Solana ecosystem. Today we're talking about how we've rebuilt the financial services stack from scratch to help businesses run financial operations on-chain, on altitude. We think that incremental improvement of legacy stack is not the right response to the shift that's happening today. We think that the stack needs to be rebuilt completely from the ground up. Why now? A decade ago, it wasn't possible. Today, it became possible because of the technological shift that's happening in the space, and especially the three technologies we're going to talk about. First, this is blockchains. Blockchains are getting a lot of traction from institutions and from businesses, as well as becoming scalable and secure to run your operations fully on chain. Two is stablecoins. Stablecoins have become the money of the internet, and today, apart from just adoption across ecosystems and economies, we're also seeing the regulatory frameworks that are arising that allows businesses to run fully on stablecoin rails. And the third, which is the most exciting technology, which is not rendering right now on the on the slide, but this is AI. AI and agentic workflows are very powerful and allow you to run your business completely automatically in an automated way. And because AI, stablecoins, and blockchains all speak the same language, the language of code, this allows you for deeper connectivity and use cases that haven't been possible before. And so every developer is hit with a choice. You either bolt those primitives to the legacy stack and you're constrained by the limits of the legacy stack, or you take those primitives and build the stack from scratch. What we're doing is obviously taking the path number 2. And so why? The legacy system that has been built around 30 years ago is still tied to multiple bottlenecks. One is that user accounts are just records in the database, and KYC compliance and settlements are bottlenecked by settlement times, banking hours, and borders and jurisdictions. So we have rebuilt the product and the product financial suite on top of the new stack that we have built using the new operating stack built on top of our own smart accounts. Starting with account. Account is a smart account which is fully self-custodial, and owned by a user. So they get access to their account and to their funds 24/7 globally without banking holidays and without an intermediary or a bank branch that controls the funds in the account. Money movement, global, instant, free, and if you need to use banking rails, you still can do payments through SWIFT, Wire, SEPA, and other local rails through orchestrated providers. Compliance has become a routing engine for us, which works with different providers that allow you to use different products, different rails in different jurisdictions and geographies, as well as other products like cars. And you're not tied to a single vendor and locked into them, and not being able to get access to different products across geographies. Accounting and reconciliation has become automated on the new stack because Solana and blockchain is the ledger itself, so it's become native to what we do, and reconciliation became automated. This slide is also not rendering correctly, but our users across the world are now able to get the APY through stablecoin infrastructure, through US Treasuries, which are custodied in BlackRock, which was only possible for users in the States, but now it's possible outside of the States as well in a fully self-custodial manner. Users can also do cards. They can issue cards globally, set up programmable policies, and use their stablecoin balances to settle for each card spend. Bill pay and invoicing is also built on the new stack, which is automated and will allow for deeper connectivity with agents to run automatically on the new stablecoin stack. And so everything has been built on a different foundation, which seems very similar to everyone trying to run their business, but the end result is different. You're not tied and you're not limited by the limitations of the old stack. You are able to do everything in a self-custodial manner, and in the future we will provide more automations with agents who will become the first-class users of the product, and human will become the secondary user of the platform. What this allows is providing access velocity and autonomy, providing our services to more than 150 countries worldwide, velocity by providing ability to settle globally, instantly, virtually free, and autonomy with all the automations, making AI your employee for which the platform is made, and not just for a human. So speaking about our customer base and what we see with our consumers, we have launched Altitude officially at the end of 2025. Since then, we have seen customers on board from 50 countries. We have processed $200 million of payments through different rails, and 80% of all our user balances are yielding right now through stablecoin infrastructure, the yield provided through US Treasuries. And so this is how you build the financial stack. And yeah, I urge everyone to try to run their business on chain, on Altitude. Please find us and the team here today and tomorrow, and we can help you on board. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Denny.
So how does squads fit into Altitude?
Sorry?
How does squads and the MCP side fit into Altitude? Or are we keeping them as separate?
The multi-sig product and Altitude are separate. It's built on the same infrastructure. It's the same squads, programmable smart accounts, but built separately because it covers different use cases. Multi-sig has become a product for developers and on-chain native teams to manage their programs, validators, and other on-chain assets through multi-sig, which doesn't abstract away all the complexities of operating on chain, because due to security concerns and because you as a developer want to have more control of what you're doing with your assets. On Altitude, we are abstracting away all the complexities that teams see when they try to operate on chain, like gas abstraction and email sign-in. And so Altitude is separate because Altitude is made specifically for treasury management operations rather than multi-sig. Yeah.
Well, congrats on the launch. We're pumped to be working with you guys from the Iron side.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Moving on. I think we've got James from Jetty.
Hello. Hey, Nikki.
Hey, James.
You have a good day so far?
I did. I've had a very good day so far. Luckily, these coffees have been keeping me energized throughout this.
Yeah?
And we're going by James now. JSB is like
JSB, James, you know.
Oh, I thought we were maybe retiring JSB.
No, JSB live and strong.
I love it. All right, brother, you ready to roll?
Yeah, ready to roll. I was told not to shill from the stage, so we're going to do a little education lesson for everybody who's interested here. And I'm going to make the case for decentralized interest rate swaps as the reason that we have not seen larger adoption of crypto markets by institutional capital sources. You might implicitly know this already, but every rate in DeFi is floating. And shout out to the USA chant going on over there. The reason for this is that most of DeFi is governed by the curve. So this perfect, decentralized way to match borrowers and lenders to express a rate between those two. And it assumes kind of this perfect world of logical actors who are going to work on the same amount of perfect information. But as most of us know, that is not how the world works. And we see tons of rate volatility. And in fact, it's one of the largest, most persistent risks in finance, yet it's completely unmanaged in crypto. Now, you might not have really sat down and thought about the next order effects that are brought about by interest rate volatility, but it makes it impossible for institutional capital to deploy in size because they can't hedge their borrowing cost risk. They can't hedge their funding rate risk. And frankly, crypto markets will only be useful for gambling and speculation if we can't offer a reliable way for them to hedge that rate risk. So how does it work? An interest rate swap, at the end of the day, is a cash flow swap between a fixed and a floating obligation. So it sounds complicated, it is, frankly, a little bit, but hopefully this illustration helps just clear it up of what going long the rate it means. So on the bottom, you have paying fixed. So each one of those squares would be a time period. So think of when you have a loan, you're borrowing $100 and you're paying, let's say, $1 a day, which would be a lot. But let's just go with that. That has a fixed cost. You're going to pay $1 every day. That's the red line down there. But on top, the reality is that rate is variable. And so that cash flow varies from every single time period. And so the agreement that you're entering into in an interest rate swap is you agree to say, hey, I will pay the floating rate in order to receive the fixed rate or vice versa. Now, let's put a more concrete example. We have the rise of a lot of vault curators who are offering delta neutral yields on these yield-bearing assets. This is great. This is commonly referred to as the carry trade or the basis trade. And what you do is you have, let's say, an LST on one end, and you're holding 1x of the LST. And then you go 1x short on a perp dex in order to delta neutral. So the price is now canceled out. And you're collecting this great 7-8% APY, and this sounds great, until finally you see a drawdown. You're like, what the heck happened? I was delta neutral. Usually what happens is the funding rate has flipped on you, and now instead of getting paid on the short end, you are now paying in order to go short because the market has flipped on you. Now, this is the reality. Most vault curators understand this, but when you're a user and you pause that vault and they said, I'm giving you delta neutral yield, and you lost money, you're like, what the hell? How does this work? And an interest rate swap helps fix that. Here's a slight chill. I lied at the beginning. We're building a way to fix this and how to solve this. And this is Jetty. So we offer institutional grade interest rate swaps built on unified liquidity for maximum capital efficiency for any rate index. The cool thing that becomes possible when we do this is the yield curve. Now, you might not know what a yield curve is, but this is how fixed income is built in traditional finance. It is the ability for the market to express expectations for the future cost of money in the future. I already said that. And if we don't have a yield curve expressed, there's no way for institutional capital to come in and allocate to crypto markets, even though if they want to, because there's no way for them to hedge or price that risk that they're taking on. Our thesis is that we'll never be able to scale internet capital markets without fixed rates, that crypto will be limited to gambling and speculation, even if those assets are RWAs, even if those assets are blue chip assets. It does not matter. Because there is an unhedgeable rate risk present in the trade, that will structurally always be the case. So that's Jetty. Hit me up if you want to talk more about it. And we welcome the future of 100x the assets on chain once we have a rate primitive like an interest rate swap.
You guys live now?
We are not live now for the public, but there is a private beta that you can reach out and we'll get you set up.
Most of the clients, institutions, large corporates this side, or?
Decentralized markets, anyone could trade it. We find, as Nikki told us, that it's really confusing. And so we find that the base, most productive user is an institutional deployer, maybe like a vault curator, who would say, obviously I have basis risk. If I could hedge that, that would be great. But yeah, anyone can trade it.
But there are users and institutions that you believe Jetty unlocks that wouldn't touch any of this without the existence of Jetty.
Correct. Like an institutional capital deployer can't put, let's say, maybe 1 or 2% of the portfolio towards a crypto market because it's only speculation based. There's no way for them to like price future cost of capital. And so the drawdown risk is too great. It makes it impossible for them to allocate more than just, we're going to go long Bitcoin.
Do you have any like ridiculous guesstimation of how much like potential funds this could be unlocked that could come to Solana because now you have fixed rates?
Yeah, let's put it this way. The first interest rate swap happened in traditional finance around 1981. And since then, it has grown into a $600 to $700 trillion market. It's the largest derivative market in the world. And so there's a correlation between the growth of that market and the growth of traditional equities markets. That truly fixed income did not exist until interest rate swaps were widely available in traditional finance.
And you believe without this unlock, that money won't come on chain?
That's right.
I'd say that's pretty massive.
Trillions.
Trillions.
Yeah.
Jetty to trillions, not financial advice.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
See you
Appreciate
guys.
it, brother.
Appreciate it, James. And I think we are coming up on 2 more, right?
Yeah, we've got Heavy Metal Cook and Crime XBT from Meteora.
Welcome, Meteora team. How we doing, guys?
Good.
Which one of you is Crime and which one is you is Heavy Metal Cook?
Can you guess?
Yes, I can guess.
Heavy Metal Cook right here Crime. in the house. Well, I am Heavy Metal Cook. I'm one of the Meteor LP Army leads. There we go. We got it on the screen. Yeah, awesome. Lead for our community and our education lead. I'm Crime. I am a Meteor user. I probably have logged over like 1,000 hours on the platform. I've grown portfolio from 1 to over 180 Solana just using the platform. So that's why I feel qualified to educate and teach. Right on. So Meteor, unless you've been living under a rock, it is the future of retail market making. It empowers everyday users, just like everybody in this room, from chicken farmers in Indonesia to professionals on every end of the spectrum. Anybody can be a market maker. Meteor is taking it to the next level. Real quick before we move on, has anyone in here used Meteora or opened an LP? One? Just Right one? on. Two, three, four. Two DLMMs or AMMs? Both?
Yeah.
Okay, we have some users.
All right, cool.
Awesome. So the AMM, the traditional AMM, you know, it's unconcentrated liquidity, it spreads it out, it's not capital efficient, and then, you know, Uniswap v3 invented the CLMM, concentrating that liquidity, you know, and that's cool, right? It helps the liquidity providers to generate more money to offset any losses or whatever. But Meteora, yes, compared to AMMs, we do promote the DAM V2s, but a lot of retail users use DLMMs, which are basically market makers that you are able to select a certain range to deposit your liquidity. So basically, everyone knows what a market order and a limit order is, correct? Meteora allows you to get paid on limit orders. So really, there's no reason to consider getting into any Solana asset without using Meteora. You should at least consider it every single time you're making a swap because it's a limit order that you get fees on. And it's very powerful and no one uses it. That's not true, but a lot of people are unaware. Yeah. So Meteor takes that a step further with their DLMM, the Dynamic Liquidity Market Maker. It allows you to shape your liquidity, focus it where it's going to get the most fee generation or preserve your capital with its various shapes, and you can stack them and do all these things. You can do one-sided liquidity. You know, maybe I only want to put in my SOL. I don't want to go buy some meme coin. I don't want to buy fart coin. I just want to put in my SOL and earn some fees off of this. There's zero slippage, which in each of our price bins,
So it makes that price more attractive to the swapper. And there's a lot more to it than that, but we're going to keep going because
we're trying.
Yeah, with time. Meteor has built a one-stop shop for everything that you need. The new UI, from finding tokens to LP, to charting it, to LPing it, everything all in one spot. Here's what's cool. Meteor has generated over $1.75 billion in fees generated through liquidity providing. 1.6 billion of that goes into the hands of people just like you and me and him and you guys too. That's a lot of money. So the vast majority of the fees is going right back into the liquidity providers.
Indeed.
So the LP Army, this is our community, and we are one of the strongest, most powerful communities in all of crypto. I say that quite confidently. We have over 20,000 LP Army members out there, many global communities all over the world, and we have been giving out free education on how to do this for years.
If you've noticed, I don't know if you guys are on X scrolling, but if you've seen the LP Army and the Meteor community, you know that it is one of the strongest communities in crypto right now, especially when the bear market, everyone's leaving, there's nothing to trade. LPers are still able to make money. The Meteor community is still so strong. There's people interacting every single day, helping people out.
Exactly, yes. We have a relentless content machine out there. They're out there providing additional education, creating content, teaching people new strategies every day, including our regional units all over the world, doing all of these things at the exact same time in their own way. Meteor has launched very recently a new starter space because we believe in education so much that we believe that anybody can become a liquidity provider. This new starter space is going to walk you through your first position. Within minutes, you're already LPing on Meteor and earning fees. But we're going to take that an even step further. We have an entire educational course that you can take, and we're going to take you from zero to hero in under 3 hours, and you'll be out there rocking, ready to graduate and be a liquidity provider and be a professional making money. I know people who make a living doing this.
Indeed. And it's very important for you to at least give it a shot and open your first LP, because as soon as you see the fees generating, you'll get a way better feel to how it actually operates, as opposed to just seeing it work and be like, oh, that looks cool. If you actually open your first LP, and even if you just get filled from USDC into Sol, you'll see the fee generation and how you can apply it to every single trading avenue.
And another cool tool that we have generated, if you're familiar with paper trading, well, we have that for liquidity providing. The DLMM playground, risk-free, safe, no wallet connection. You can go out there and you can try it. See what it looks like without risking a single cent. And wrapping up, we have so many resources out there. Your place to start is lparmy.com. It's a one-stop shop, man, for everything that you need, from our academy, from our strategies, to the DLMM playground, our global communities, tools, and so much more. This is the place where you need to go. This is where you need to be. One of the great things about our community is, somebody, they win $2. Okay, $2, who cares, right? No, man, that's coffee. And we celebrate every win together, and we cry with every loss together. But this is how our community is. It's so much different. It's not just, what can I extract? It's, how can I give back? How can we do this together?
Yep.
We're stronger together. Your LP education, it starts right here with us. Check us out on Met LP Army.
And one more thing before we hop off. I know you guys are probably seeing this, and I'm going to rewind. I know we're out of time, but real quick, I'm going to rewind. If this looks confusing to you, if these curves and shapes look confusing to you, just come find me or HMC, and we'd be happy to walk you through how all of this works, because I promise you, it's the most powerful tool on Solana right now.
Yeah, right on. So yeah, come check us out, talk to us, and we'd be happy to meet you guys.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys.
All right. Here.
All right.
You toss it. You take it.
We'll close out.
I think we're in the way.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I think we're
With
out.
that,
I think we come out. Oh, this
we've
way.
got one more. Going to invite Andrew from Titan Exchange up on the stage and close us out. Thank you, Andrew.
Hi guys, my name's DeFi Pancakes. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Titan Exchange. And today I want to talk a bit about how Solana won spot trading. So if you take a look at the graphs here, these are distribution plots of retail Sol USDC swaps. And this shows their slippage that they realized when they landed on chain. So on the left, February 2025, you can see this distribution, although it's roughly centered around 0, you can see it has quite long and fat tails. This implies that when users were trading back in February 2025, they were seeing anywhere from plus minus 10 to 20 to 30 basis points of slippage. And then if you fast forward to April 2026, you can see a completely different distribution. So this distribution has a mean and median at 0, a standard deviation of 2 basis points, and the tails effectively end at 6 basis points. So we've made huge leaps and bounds in terms of swap execution on Solana, and I just wanted to talk a bit about that today. So the first major point is prop AMMs and the proliferation of prop AMMs. So back in February 2025, we had roughly 4 prop AMMs quoting on Solana. Today, we actually have 15, and there are more on the way. So these prop AMMs are effectively on-chain market makers. They can reprice, they can update their pricing curve many times per block, and that allows them to not only to provide better liquidity, but they can also defend against adversarial selection much better than other AMM designs. So because of these faster updates and obviously toxic flow that they can filter out and protect against, generally retail gets better trades because of this. Another effect that these prop AMMs have had is because they are updating so quick, everything upstream also had to catch up. So a simple example is the UX on aggregators, for example. So if you look at like an Ethereum aggregator, they're holding quotes for up to 10 seconds, and that was actually the case last year on Solana. But now we've actually altogether have moved to update our quotes much faster. So when Titan launched last year, September 2025, we kind of set the standard by updating our quotes every 800 milliseconds. And now across every other aggregator, you will also see them update their quotes at least every 2 seconds or even faster. So that's another major point that has helped with the slippage. So another thing to explain is the quote to execution gap. So whenever you're using an aggregator, when you see a quote and you actually try to execute on that quote, there is a time gap between when you first saw the quote, clicked swap, confirmed it in your wallet, and then that swap actually landed on chain. So the quote you saw and the route that is associated with that quote, that route that was once optimal at quote time is no longer optimal when it lands on chain, and that could result in extra slippage for the user. So the architectural response to this is to actually move some of the routing decisions on chain. So last month, Titan launched DART, which stands for Dynamic Allocation in Real Time. And this is our on-chain router, which essentially re-optimizes routes when they actually execute on chain. So as a quick example, you can see kind of like a route here that was built by Argos, our off-chain router, and you can see it splits across a variety of prop AMMs and AMMs. So Solfi at 35%, Humidify at 25%, so on and so forth. when a user would come and sign this transaction that contains this swap, and when they landed on chain, what Dart will actually do is re-optimize according to the actual state of the blockchain at that time. So you can see Solfi might jump down to 15, Humidify jump up to 35, so on and so forth. So the route that was not optimal before is now optimal when it actually executes. So this is sort of like a market view of all the venues that, not all of the venues, but some of the venues we have on Solana. So this is 10K USDC for Sol USDC swaps. And you can see Titan Dart highlighted in yellow. You can see a variety of different prop AMMs in there, and then you can see Binance VIP9. So Binance VIP9 is essentially their institutional tier. You need to have 4 billion in monthly volume, and I think 5,500 BNB staked. And this is obviously simply out of reach for retail. But you can see here on Solana that we already have some prop AMMs at 10K already beating Binance VIP9. And through Titan Dart, you actually get another level above that because Titan Dart can actually allocate optimally across all of these prop AMMs at execution time, and then can give you something like a sub-basis point spread on 10K of Sol USDC. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm around all week. Thank you guys. Happy to talk about on-chain routing.
Perfect. Andrew, thank you. So we've definitely had some other groups up here today talking about being, routing aggregator. Sometimes they were just specific to some assets, picking stables, et cetera. How do you guys see Titan fitting into that ecosystem?
I think Titan, our approach is we are going to push the innovation and envelope on aggregation and try to provide users with the best price, best experience, best possible. I could tell you with Dart right now, we are literally breaching the limits of what we can do on chain. I can't wait until they increase CUs. I can't wait until they increase transaction sizes. All of those things, as soon as they are unlocked, literally our tech will be able to scale immediately with that. So my job is just thinking about how we can eke out every single point of execution for the user. And one of the responses for Titan Dart, I don't know if you guys seen, but like a couple months ago, there was a lot of this talk about spoofing on chain from prop AMMs. Titan Dart effectively unspoofable. You can't spoof Titan Dart because if you spoof me, I'll allocate to a different prop AMM and then you just lose the flow. So that's kind of where we see ourselves.
Well, excited for that. Thank you.
Nice. And right now, Titan Dart into the future is going to be like the headliner for you guys. What is being talked about the most?
I think that's where we want to spend our focus is on the on-chain routing. So Titan Dart version 2 it's cooking. It's in the oven.
But then that just ends up being like one of your 15, right?
What do you mean?
You'd said you guys have like 15 different DEXs and AMMs going on at the same time.
That was just 15 prop AMMs. That's how many are currently on Solana. And what I'm saying is that they actually don't all quote the same stuff. Like there's some that are specialized in stables. There's some that are coming out for other assets too, and they're actually going down the risk curve. So what I think what we're trying to do is take advantage of that, right? Prop AMMs are quoting more. They've clearly taken market share. You can look on any dashboard like they're up there, and Titan is there to kind of capitalize on that and make sure that we're effectively routing through all these prop AMMs.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all for coming down. I think I'm waiting for eyes for the mics.
Yeah, we're gonna close up.
All set, bookend. Well,
All you.
Want to say thank you to the Solana Foundation, Send AI, Super Team US, Super Team Black, and all of the amazing speakers that we had here today. Please stick around. Go chat with people. You have some of the best and brightest that are building in Solana here in the room here this week. If there's anything you need from the MoonPay and Super Team teams, please grab us afterwards. But hope you guys can stay for some drinks and excited to keep building with y'all. Thank you for coming.